And hello, everybody.
Hi.
Happy Saturday. We are Hard Knock Dice. My name is Jonesy, your dungeon master for the evening, and these beautiful people around me are your heroes for the evening and my best friends. Today, we're going to continue across Eberron, but before we do, if I can please get an exclamation mark charity in the chat. We're raising money with Extra Life, specifically for the Children's Healthcare of Atlanta. Here, I will do it. Okay, thank you, Hydra. I appreciate you. I'll do it myself. We are raising money for the Children's Healthcare of Atlanta. So open your heart wallets, go donate, go be a hero IRL. And I missed one of them. I don't remember. Do the lawful kind thing. There we go. So it's I'm a little bit out of practice. We were out week before, I think, right? We missed last week. Oh, time is a weird thing. Anyways, I believe it was last week that we lost, that we skipped for the holidays and whatnot. So we're happy to be back. Missing a couple of folks. Kaushik will be out today, but we should have Otto join us a little bit later. No worries. We're going to kick it off today. Did I miss anything? No, I don't think so. I don't think we have any other announcements. All of our birthdays are centered in 1 month for this campaign, so we knock all of those out really quickly.
Couple of months. It's like very, very summer oriented.
Yeah, August is definitely the biggest month for us, but definitely throughout the summer. But yeah, so like I said, we're Hard Knock Dice. We are going to be, just to keep you updated on our schedule for this campaign specifically, we're going to be streaming next week and the week after, but we are going to be taking 2 weeks off for the holidays on the 23rd and the 30th. We'll be back the following week on January 6th, so we'll see you in the new year. Yes, that's right. I know I've said we're going to be sunsetting this campaign, but I lied and I can do that. No, we have changed our mind and decided it would serve the story better if we extended it by a bit, so we are going to do that. So we will see you in the new year with Across Eberron. So as long as I don't kill them before then. Hopefully we don't see that. But we're gonna take off the 23rd and the 30th, and we'll be back on the 6th. So go enjoy those times with your family, because that's what we're gonna be doing. Alrighty then. Now that I've completely buggered all that up, let's get started with a little recap about what our heroes do, if I can remember. Last we left off, our heroes, the Shining Vanguard, had heard about an atrocity that happened to their, at the time, north in Thronehold. Their friend, dear friend and king of Karnath, Gandalwin Irwinarn, was assaulted by a meteor swarm at Thronehold during a gathering of nations. The Thronehold Accords. He attempted to gather the nation. He didn't attempt. He succeeded in gathering the nations and warning them about the invasion of the Plane of Madness, Zoriat, the incursion to come that would wipe out the world if they did not prepare. He succeeded in doing so, politicking his way around the nations and making bargains where bargains needed to be made. However, at the end, or as that ceremony began to wrap up, the daughters of Sorakel decided to ring the doorbell in their own particular way, raining hell upon them the entirety of this convention. Our hero Gandalwin survived, but not without his own injuries, missing an arm now up to the shoulder, his left arm specifically. Our heroes flew north to be with their friend. They now find themselves back at Thronehold in a rescue mission, where they are desperately looking through the rubble and embers for folks that have survived this atrocity. So our group is a bit split right now. We have Azur, Kaushik, Otto, and Artyom inside of where the Accords actually took place, sifting through rubble and attempting to help the House Beneath guards rescue folks and save who they can. Near the docks of Thronehold, since this is an island, we find our King Gandalwin, Pip, as well as Crowley out here, who've been introduced to one Cervelian Tetraitzi, a wizard of the 12, some of the most powerful wizards in all of Eberron. Now face to face with our King of Karnath, Pip, and Crowley. So we are going to pick back up this session with a bit of a montage about what's going on inside of the Accords themselves. So, my dear heroes, as we see inside with our Shining Vanguard as well as House Beneath soldiers moving diligently back and forth within this fallen building. We see Azur keeping a collapsing piece of debris from falling on Beneath Guard with air magics. And when it's not quite enough, physically stepping in and straining to keep it from collapsing. Mazarth flying in and putting his shoulder under it, just to keep it up long enough, just enough for these soldiers to make their way out as it collapses. Caustic using truly unheard of healing spells to stabilize and save people. We see a Beneath medic doing his best to keep a crushed Thranien stable, and a swirling of magics keep him from the brink of death, restructuring his rib cage as he takes a deep breath in. We see Otto scanning for heat signatures under the rubble, his HUD bringing up calculations to look for stable ways and cut and separate the rubble without causing a collapse. Using his force blade to slice through concrete and stone, his summoned construct beside him, lifting and throwing manageable pieces of rubble out of the way, saving a small group of rabbits, who then wild shape back to their human form, druids from the Eldine Reaches, who panic wild shape to avoid being crushed and maneuver under the rubble. And then our last hero, Artyom. Artyom, you rolled a natural 20 on this. You have summoned badgers to assist you in this, and I have struggled all week. I'm not gonna lie, I've struggled for 2 weeks now to decide on how we're gonna do this, because just above table knowledge for you guys as well as for you at home, I rolled to see how this panned out. I rolled for several very, very important NPCs, and when I say several, I rolled 5 specifically D100s, all of them falling below the 5th percentile for it, all of them below 20%, literally all of them, with the exception of one, which was a 22. That 22, well, was turned to sand in Lucas's arms. So, in a bit of a twist of fate, I'm going to let you roll a d6 here, Artyom.
5.
5. Okay. Artyom, you have are attempting to assist. You have badgers throughout this cavern. Here you have one badger that is scampering across the floors, and these are giant badgers, by the way. These aren't like normal sized badgers. Just for those of you who may not remember, Artyom summoned giant badgers, which are full on people sized badgers, and quite good at burrowing. One runs up to you, Artyom, or scampers up to you rather, stands on its hind legs and goes.
Let's go.
Perfect. He turns around, takes you about 60 feet over rubble as you're climbing over it. He full on jumps and just dives into the rubble below, kicking up rock and rubble behind him.
All right. Let me see. Real quick. No. Is there a way that I can sense the location of these badgers that I've summoned?
That's a good question. Give me an Arcana check.
Oh, not the worst of those. 13.
13. I'll say you can't pinpoint them, but you have a general sense about where they are or where they would be.
Okay. All right. That sounded pretty important. So, I'm trying to make sure I had wild shapes left that I could use.
I believe so. I don't believe any wild shapes have been used today. Right? Ooh, actually, I'm wrong.
Yeah.
Because you are an air elemental.
Mm-hmm.
So you still have Anne
yeah.
Wild Shade left. You guys have had a short rest since then, though. I'm stupid. You guys talked for a long time in the castle to Gandwin. That would have counted as a short rest.
Okay. Yeah, in that case, I will follow after him as a badger as well.
Okay, turning into a giant badger as well, just burrowing down behind him.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Taking you down here, and you, as you go down, sort of sensing out your badgers, you realize that they've kind of come together underneath the rubble here. You have because you summoned 8 total, correct?
I'd have to check the CR of a badger again. I think it was 8. It was either 8 or 16.
I think it was 8. Or at least I think that was the number I was given. But you have about 5 of them down here, not including the one that's in front of you. So a large portion of them are down here in front of you. As you're sort of scattering down here, a pocket of rubble has been made. Very, very unstable. And your badgers have moved and burrowed through here very carefully. And you see, I assume badgers have dark vision. If you can't,
they have echolocation. They scream.
In that case, that's going to make this much creepier than it should be, as you hear screaming as you approach. Badger screaming.
Dark vision 30 feet.
Okay, wonderful. Wonderful. That's good news. You find a pocket of air within this debris. See the floor of the actual floor of the Thronehold Accords, and not the new rubble floor that it's been given, courtesy of the sisters. Thank you so much, Musical Jinx, for the sub. Welcome back. As you find your way down into this pocket, you see the rough outline of a dwarf against the far end of the wall, who looks dusty and bruised and probably knocked out. He's dressed in fine jewelry and leathers and like traced with golds. A nicely, or what would have been a nicely trimmed beard had he not just had a building fall on him. Like beautiful platinum rings worked into his beard as well. Truly an opulently dressed man. And you've give me a quick wisdom check, actually.
Sure. 23.
Holy shit. No time at all. You know who this is. You've met this man before. You've met him at a gala back in Sharn. You didn't meet face to face. You did see your friend dance around the floor with him. You see the Baron of House Kundarik laying barely conscious on the floor. And you see around him 5 badgers holding up what is definitely an unstable piece of rubble from falling on him. What are you gonna do?
I am going to do a quick couple of things in real quick succession. So I'm gonna drop my shapeshift.
You're hunched over in this area, like you're a tall man. This is very small, but out of wild shape.
And I'm going to kind of not moving at all. I'm going to attempt to see if I can get this guy conscious by speaking to his mind, to see if he's conscious there without having to move around or make any noise or anything extra.
Okay. I'll tell you right now, he is at 0 hit points.
Okay.
Okay. He is stable.
Yep.
But he is at 0 hit points.
I will, as quietly as I can, hit him with a slight little cure wounds.
Slight cure wounds. It's, you hear him a raspy, deep, like rattling breath in. That's all you get out of him.
I'll say in his brain, I don't know if you can hear me. Don't freak out. You're not technically being crushed.
I was going to roll. I want you to roll. Give me a persuasion check really quickly.
Okay. 3.
Bedside manner needs a little work.
Is that the gods I hear? I'm dead. Oh no.
And not yet, friend. And I am going. It's a little bit weird on the action economy, but I'd like to turn. How far down are we, by the way, before I do this?
You guys are probably under about 30 feet of rubble.
Cool. I will, if I can technically kind of do 2 quick actions, I would like to transmute stone, shapeshift into a giant frog, and then swallow him in my mouth.
Okay. You're gonna transmute. So what level is transmute stone?
4.
4th. Okay.
Or 5th. One of those.
4th or 5th or one of those. All right. You're gonna transmute stone, which is turning that stone into mud, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. Tell me, what are you trying to do here? Talk to me.
Hold on, let me make sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, great time to be able to cast like Dimension Door.
Well, if I could see it, I could maybe do something like that, but
What?
If I had like a line of sight out.
Oh, exciting.
Okay, so I'll have to cast this at a higher level to get this going. All right. So yeah, I'll cast that technically at 7th level.
Okay.
Oh.
Yeah. And then when all the rock starts to turn to slop, swim through it as best I can.
And you're putting him in your mouth.
Yeah, so that he is safe and does not drown.
Okay. What are the mechanics for swallowing something as a giant frog?
I technically bite them, which is an action.
Right.
So,
and I think there's some acid damage involved if they stay.
That's if they are swallowed. Okay. I'm just gonna hold them in my mouth.
Okay. All right.
He's got short legs. They might not go all the way back into the stomach.
His toe's a little singed. That's all right.
Those are good boots.
What's your bonus to athletics as a giant frog?
My bonus to athletics as a giant frog will be a very sexy.
What?
8 plus 8.
Plus 8. That's very good. Okay. These will be. And you've turned all of the stone above you into mud.
Yep.
All right.
I can still talk to him with him in my body.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep.
What?
Telepathically.
Okay.
Hey, bye.
So you can turn all of the rubble above you into mud using a 7th level transmute. You turn into a frog. Put them in your mouth. Wonderful. We're gonna do this as a series of athletics checks. Okay.
Okay.
I want you to make the first one. Go for it.
What a way for a hero to die. Drowned in mud. Like,
Natural 1? Natural 20.
Natural 20.
something bad is gonna happen.
This
like,
music
here.
is well. Let's give me back my
That's
epic
silly.
music.
All right.
Swimming. You feel the dwarf sort of wriggling around in your mouth. You know what? He's gonna punch the inside of your mouth.
They come down. I'm trying to save you. I'm a druid. You're in a frog under lots of mud.
As you're talking, you take 1 point of damage as he hits you in your
no.
froggy uvula in the back of your throat. Let go of me, beast! You'll never take me! I'm not going with you, devil! I would like a second athletics check from you, please.
How much HP does the frog have?
Not a lot.
I rolled a natural 18 on that attack roll.
Is it 1 plus his strength mod, Dan?
That is a dirty 20, not a natural 20.
A dirty 20. Still enough to keep you moving upward. I want one last athletics check from you.
All right. So 14 plus 8, so 22.
He attempts, you feel him reeling back for another punch in your mouth. You clamp him down to sort of like restrain him in place from doing so, and he can't just get any force behind it. What was that last athletics roll?
14 plus 8 for 22.
Okay, yeah. I did not know a fucking giant frog's athletics score was so goddamn high. That's
No,
ridiculous.
you still keep your proficiencies whenever.
Yeah.
It all
so you have the
makes
plus
sense now.
6, bro.
Yeah, they only got a plus 2 strength.
And I would like you to please roll a D100 for me.
Hell yeah. I love the chaos of rolling a D100.
How many people were standing on top of the rubble that you turned to mud?
72. None of them right now.
72 people were standing on that rubble.
Does that mean he just drowned 72 people in mud to save one dwarf?
Yep.
Yep.
It's fucked up.
Okay. You explode out of this mud. You see Denith soldiers have like backed up, some of them falling into mud, like falling into quicksand, helping each other out of this place. Luckily your friend's nowhere near around. I rolled a D100 to see if I needed to ask for dexterity saving throws or not. But no, just Denith soldiers who are currently struggling for their lives at the moment, but all of them seeming to be okay at this very moment. And you have the Baron of House Kundark in your mouth right now. What are you doing?
onto solid ground.
He's saliva covered as you spit him out onto the ground here. Those of you in the area, as well as all the House Denith soldiers, just sort of, there's a lot of fucking animals in here right now, though they realize that the badgers have been helping them out, like lift stones and stuff out of the way. A giant frog still catching them off guard. Couple of them, actually I don't think they wouldn't have their weapons in here, so a lot of them just like put fists up at the moment. As this giant toad like hops out of the rubble, you spit out a living Morrican I almost said Dekandaric, Baron of House Kundark, and also controller of the last reserves of the Roar holds Alan Baishik. Spitting him out onto the ground. He immediately does the same thing that most of the Denith guards are doing, squares up all of these giant jewels and rings on his fingers. He says, all right, I'm alive. I'm alive. And he hugs you. In frog form. Oh.
It's all right, my friend. You're good.
Thank you, Toad God.
It's just Artyom. I'm just a druid.
Artyom, Toad God of the druids.
What's the consistency of frog spit? Is he slimy? Is he just
slimy?
Wet? Like
slimy. It's all sticky and gross.
Is it like? It's like goop.
He looks like he's covered in snot.
Well, you know, when frogs
I
like whip their tongue out to get, it's like the saliva that sticks them to it.
Sticky.
Yeah, it's like super glue.
So now so when he hugs him, is he stuck to him now? He's like.
It takes a little bit of effort to separate the hug. What were you saying there, Artyom?
No, you're good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Quick question for you. If you lose or if you drop concentration on, is it a concentration spell or not?
I think it actually is a concentration spell, so I think those badgers would be gone.
Okay.
Let me double check.
Uh-oh. This is why we think before we cast, everybody.
No, it is not concentration.
It's not
Never
concentration. Okay, so it's just mud in the middle of this.
It is duration is until dispelled.
Okay.
Dude, that's mud forever. Like it can't dry out. That's crazy.
Well, it is concrete, so it's just gonna re-dry as like concrete.
I said mud.
All right. So there's just a giant mud hole now in the middle of this already unstable place. Morrigan is hugging on you. The rest of you seeing Artyom pop up out of the ground. And when I say the rest of you, Azur and Otto seeing Artyom pop out on giant and spitting a very well-dressed dwarf out onto the ground, which neither of you have met. Not personally. Otto may recall through his memory banks of a time that Milo attended a gala in Sharn and would know this face as well. This is the man that proudly danced with Morrigan de Gondaric.
Imagine Otto is currently very motivatedly hard at work, and thus probably, other than just taking note of, yes, another life saved, is just moving on to the next.
Yeah, absolutely. And you hopped in a little bit late, but you have been doing that. You're currently scanning for heat signatures beneath the rubble, helping beneath soldiers pinpoint where folks are, using your force blade, having your summoned construct also just flip over heavier, more manageable pieces of rubble and helping extract folks. This will go on for at least a couple of hours until you realize that everything living has been extracted from here. And we are gonna pan our camera back really quickly to a smaller ship on the docks of Thronehold. King Gain, when you've just been introduced to Cervelian Tetraitzi, a wizard in blue-gray robes currently covered in dust and rubble, he seems like he's sustained an injury to his ribs or stomach, as you see him holding them, and he's heavily bandaged around. The top robe's just sort of loosely hanging open. He's an old, like I said, older gentleman, human, sort of gray beard, suntanned skin, floppy hat off to the side, coming out and looking incredibly grumpy at the lot of you who are standing out there and talking immediately outside of this quarters where he's presumably resting. Well,
I'm glad to see that you survived, Cervelian.
You too. I'm glad to see that at least most of you survived.
Yeah. I was hoping that you may be able to shed some light from a different perspective on the events at the Accords.
He's like grabbing on the doorknob. Not from a standing position, I can't. Follow me. And he just like turns around and sits on a bed that's like almost on the other side of this. It's like a couple of chairs in here.
I'll enter.
You see that the Denise captain turns to you and says, "Oh, I'll take my leave from here."
Very well.
Leaves. A couple of Denise soldiers still on the outside, like on the outside of the dock. Captain leaves from here. Cervelian sitting on the, just sort of sits on the edge of the bed, wincing as he does so. How can I help?
I think it's probably safe to assume that you were the most accomplished spellcaster present. The attack occurred.
There was several talented spellcaster, but yes, it is a safe assumption.
I wanted to see what you may know, or be able to. Ian is losing words.
Oh,
Or at the very least be able to. What ideas you may have had, even if you did not witness it directly. How something like this occurred.
from what I could tell, after I was bandaged up, I did a perimeter walk around the observed magics that I put down yesterday. Something on the side of the islands tampered with them. It should have never happened, but it did. Something I did was undone. I wish I had a better answer for you, but unfortunately I could not even identify the school of magic that separated my observed magics as the shield around the island of Thronehold itself.
They were able to breach it without it causing any kind of alarm.
Nothing.
Is there anybody that you know of who would be? I can't imagine that there are too many spellcasters capable of doing something like that.
Well, the daughters of Sorakel could have done it themselves, together. The coven is stronger than the singular hag, but they could have been them. The first time you've seen someone just outright name the daughters of Sorakel like this. But then again, you saw Cervelian like holding up an arcane shield above like a couple of dozen people as the ceiling collapsed down. And
no slouch.
No, no slouch at all,
No
but
slouch.
Also saw the daughters of Sorakel there.
Okay.
Yeah. Like rocks crashing down and just saw them sort of in the middle looking at you.
Interesting. And Sigurd Denise, the captain, had seemed completely surprised when I mentioned them, right? From what I recall.
Seemed like he hadn't heard about it, yeah.
Out of curiosity, from what I gathered, when I spoke with the captain, you did not mention seeing the daughters to him.
I did not to mention it to him, no. There's no reason to tell a dummy certain things.
Interesting. Have you told anybody?
I have told the son of my colleagues.
Other members of the 12?
And indeed.
What do you think they stood to gain from this? Especially with the context of what the Accords were about.
But this is my thoughts exactly. I think they are in some way or somehow in league with the Zoriat. I do not see how they couldn't be.
As powerful and scary as they are, it seemed unwise even for them to risk agitating the entire continent against them.
Unless something much, much bigger is on the way.
Or unless, if something much, much bigger is on the way, and if their job is to make sure that everybody is getting ready to try to pound them into nothing, rather than preparing for what's coming.
This could be the case as well. Distraction tactics, or they just don't care anymore.
I don't get the feeling that they care much for the lives of their troops, maybe. Maybe they do. They didn't strike me as the kind.
The interesting thing is even the daughters of Sorakel, even if they were to do that, we have seen magics that at least the Sora Mayin. Actually, you know what? Yeah. The Sora Mayina has used on the battlefield before. Go ahead and Pip, Crowley, Ganowin, roll me just a quick history, Arcana, or give me a quick history check. That'll be the best thing.
Is this in regards to the daughters?
It is, which means you'll roll with advantage because it has to do with the daughters exactly. Crowley, you're going to roll with advantage because you were Chiron intelligence.
22.
22.
22.
Still kind of
22 as
shit.
well.
14.
14. Still all high enough to at least know who Sora Maina is. You know that she is the largest of the three sisters, the Anis hag of the three sisters, the one who was directing the troops of Droam during the war. But he continues on. He says, Sora, at least the magics that we saw in the field, Sora Maina, were identifiable. Sticking to the standard schools of magic, we could tell that. The magics that were around here, like strands of fabric plucked away by their very existence.
What?
I've never seen something like it before. Magic unraveled in odd and strange ways. Completely different.
Erratically, even.
Indeed.
Entirely possible that their allies from within Zoriat perhaps lent them some assistance in this attack.
Did you see something else that I did not?
If it is magic that is completely foreign to you that you have never seen before, it would beg to reason that it came from elsewhere.
A big assumption. That's why I asked, did you see something I did not?
No. They came. I barely lived. Rubbed it in my face a little bit and left.
Are there perhaps any traces of this magic still resonant within the area?
I'm sure you could go to the area I was. Take a look for yourself.
When we're done talking here, could you show me?
I'll probably not do much of walking right now. I'll have someone else walk you over there.
Thank you. Any findings I receive, I will be sure to share with you.
Are there any that you are able to confirm that survived due to either your interference? It looked like you saved some.
Indeed.
Anybody of relevance?
Anybody of relevance. It's going to depend on two things. One, luck, and two, who he considers relevant. The majority of what I was able to save was a war band from Valinor.
Still trying to pin down how much chaos this is going to cause beyond simply the act itself. Dead leaders can make this a lot harder.
Honestly, the fallout of this event is secondary. The real threat is still coming.
Right. But if nations are in turmoil from trying to figure out who's in charge, that means that they're not preparing for what's coming.
They wouldn't anyways. They haven't been anyways. How much luck have you had?
That was kind of the point of point gesture behind them.
Mm-hmm. And before then, how much luck do you have convincing people that this is a threat they need to take seriously? People have their heads in their asses. They always have had their heads in their asses. They're either going to be that and be a stupid, or they're going to see how they can make it work out for them. This is the nature of a people. The 12 prepares for what is coming.
Glad to hear it. I know you said there were strange magics involved. Do you know of anything that maybe is it just transportation or capture that would turn its target to sand?
I'll give him a retroactive perception check.
Give him a retroactive inspiration. Okay.
Yeah.
Did Lucas? I can't remember. Did Lucas came with us, right?
Yeah, Lucas
Which
is with
group
you.
did Lucas come with?
Yeah, Lucas is you know what? I'll roll it high low. High you guys, low rescue squad. He is in there with the rescue squad right now.
Okay, that's what I figured, but
Yeah.
I just wanted to ask just in case.
Yeah, he's
Is
doing one.
Otto present here, or is he still outside doing stuff?
You guys are still in the actual Accords at the moment.
Otto.
I can't help much of anybody, so I wanted to talk to folks.
I don't know if this was like post-rescue efforts. I don't know how much I missed early on.
Ring any bells?
Unfortunately not. It was hard to see between the falling rocks from the sky, you know.
I didn't figure you saw it exactly, but I didn't know if the magic or something similar was within your knowledge. If you knew of something like that.
I would have to see it, or at least detect where it happened.
I see. Shit. Well, you've communicated with your compatriots. I assume that the rest are looking into anything, and yells. Power and influence is far-reaching, and if anybody was going to find out anything in a short period of time, I would imagine you lot would be some of the first.
The 12 prepares for the incursion of Zoriat. This is what we do. This is why we even came to help you. And you'll remember you sent off word to the Tower of the 12 that begging them that like come here, prove to people that this is real. You never even got a response. You didn't know they were coming until he showed up the day of.
Oh. So you continue to prepare against Zoriat.
This is what we do, yes.
Feel like sharing what those preparations might be?
Perhaps in the morning.
All right. Then I will leave you to it, I suppose.
You look like you need the rest yourself.
Just shrug. Who doesn't?
You're
Get up and walk out.
Very well. He's trying. Who doesn't walk out? Very well. Shining Vanguard wrap up their rescue efforts within the Thronehold Accords. You all gather out once more. You have made several, maybe not friends, but at the very least allies of the rank and file Deneth soldiers in here, and Deneth soldiers and medics in here that have been working side by side. A couple of you have saved them from collapses. Yeah, I said that right. Along the way. So, and now they sit here, they're like offering you like fucking sack lunches that they've brought here and stuff like that if you want it. But otherwise, you've rescued honestly a heartbreaking amount of people. As I said, your natural 20 saved one person that wasn't going to make it there, RTM. But 5 rolls all under 25% is rough, and this scene reflects that exactly. So nothing that would have been helped with timing or rushing faster, nothing that you guys could have done. Simply a matter of a truly horrific display of magic. What are you guys doing?
All right, well, what's the next step? What are we going to do next? Who do we need to talk to? Do we have does the captain know of people we've at least saved? Where is the line of communication going to start?
Lucas speaks up and says, what do you mean? You mean who's going to start announcing folks that didn't make it?
I don't care about announcing folks who didn't make it, but we need to speak to leaders to make sure they don't misinterpret this as something different, and to make sure.
My apologies really quickly, as I did not fully explain.
Oh.
You saved one of the leaders that came here. That roll on a d6.
Okay.
Over those next couple of hours, Queen Arala, her second in command, Lord Darrow Earlane, is about 70% of the Valinor war clan chieftains that were represented here. Several members of the Eldine Reaches, though Otto did save about 3 of them. And Lord Borinel, King Borinel of Breland, all deceased.
Oh shit. That's Breland and Irondair.
Danwin, go ahead and give me a quick, we'll just call it a quick history roll with advantage.
Was Arala Irondair or Thrain?
Arala was Irondair. You're correct.
Arala was, and I'm sorry, I'm mixing up people I know. At advantage, it's a 16.
Advantage, that's a 16. Just sort of quick things that you may or may not be thinking of right now. You decide what you want to do with it. Irondair is ruled by a triumvirate, of which Queen Arala was only one part of. Their leadership is still there and intact even without Arala. Breland in a bit different scenario in that King Borinel has an heir, but that power is just going to be directly transferred to them, and their leadership will change here. The rest you're not exactly sure. In addition, and I need to pull up my conclave notes again, because I don't remember his name. The leader of Clan Morrican from the Roar Holds.
From the Holds.
Correct. Close allies with House Anvrand or Clan Anvrand. You guys know that Clan Anvrand Hold sat across from Morrican Hold, and they were very close allies. Torlin, I'm sorry, not Morrican. Torlin Mroranon, also deceased.
Oh boy. Are we determined? So we have all reconvened?
Yeah.
At this juncture?
You are all together. This is after those specific very, very impactful deaths have been discovered and announced, at least to the inner group here. Basically, the only people that know about them right now are you guys and the guards. And you see Deneth Guard sort of working out with the captain there, sort of lines of communication on how this is about to be announced out to those kingdoms specifically.
Do we know what other houses were present? Because so far we have saved House of the leader, House Kandaric.
Correct. Orion was not present. Lyrindar not present as she was busy elsewhere. Kenneth not present because he was tasked with something else. Leader of House Civis not present, and you saved Kandaric. No other houses were in attendance.
Gotcha.
You see the leader of House Kandaric off probably like 50 feet. He's got the little space blanket wrapped around him, giving him some like hot tea to warm up. Yeah, he's got his feet in a hot bath sort of situation.
So the only house that was in attendance was Kandaric.
Yeah.
Ultimately, that was it.
Mm-hmm. At least they're leaders. They're barons or baronesses.
Of leaders, right.
Right.
We do not have the luxury of allowing this tragedy to throw us into despair. If we do not use this as a catalyst for unity, I believe we will have a much harder time with the greater troubles ahead.
Be that as it may, I think you're going to have a lot harder time convincing everyone else of that. All the other nations, their leadership.
Lucas is just staring at the ground when you say that.
What evidence do we have of the daughters?
Currently my word and a member of the 12.
I intend to look over the area to see if we can track some of their magics, and because she has a very specific magical resonance, we'll see if we can't tie that to them.
Cervelian said that some of the magic done was something that he had never seen before.
What do you mean?
I believe it might be tied to Zoriat. We're going to check for traces of that as well.
He said it was like fabric coming undone.
Did he give you any further details?
I just kind of look at Crowley, I shrug. I'm just like this is well outside Gandalf's wheelhouse.
I question him very little, but it seemed to tie in with my thoughts that it might be compounded with Zoriat magic.
DM, with Otto's research specifically into Zoriat for the purposes of being able to detect it with his monocular, does that sound familiar or anything to him?
I think you'd probably need to see where it happened, which Cervelian said you could take. One of the guards would take you around to the north side where he looked at it earlier. You'd probably need to actually get your eyes on sort of what I say your eyes, your arcane knowledge in the area. Yeah.
Which, Crowley was going to say, and I would like you to come with me, Otto.
Of course. Sounds like thoughtful. He's trying to crunch the arcane numbers, as it were, kind of pre-developing some theories.
Mm-hmm.
Shall we do that now, Uncle?
There's nothing else to discuss.
I think there is something to discuss. Lucas speaks up. I have given you my word that nothing brash will be done. And he looks over at all of the dead. But something has to be done. As of now, I'm the acting leader of Thrain. I have to go back to my people and announce something, and quickly.
The speaker is not gone. The speaker is being held.
But still, he has to tell them something. That is good news, but something must be done. I'm sure they'll demand action.
Being held, but I don't know for how long.
Exactly.
So, gather arms. Prepare.
War.
Not the picnic.
We will share whatever we find when we search this area as well for magics. I'll make sure you.
He says war, and he looks at Gandalf.
Yeah, I was kind of like staring at the kind of ground and just.
The way I see it, we have two options. It's either war, or I go in and get her myself. Your help or not.
You'll have our help.
Focusing our ire on them was the entire point of this. If they are indeed in league with Zoriat.
Furthermore,
If the point is to draw all the nations into war with Droam. What, Otto?
your enthusiasm and intent are to be admired, but do you not think that perhaps your efforts would have a higher chance of success in saving the one you care about and that this world needs if you have more information to go on? Throwing yourself at a problem with little intel could have less than ideal results.
This is a very interesting change of heart.
Insofar as,
Considering less than 6 hours ago, as you guys are sitting here talking, the dawn is rising. It is late in the night. All of you are exhausted at this point. He looks at you and says, insofar as less than 6 hours ago, it didn't matter about the opinion of others. You're ready to go because you knew it was the right thing to do. Now there is a little
Indeed.
girl that has depended on me for her entire life, and I have let her down.
you have done nothing wrong. And the situation being, I knew, where the people were, and what needed to be done, and my ability to help them.
What's it
You
going to
do
be,
not know where she
Gandalf?
is. I'm sorry, I cannot hear you over myself. What was that?
He cuts you off and just looks at Gandalf and says, "What's it going to be, Gandalf?"
We cannot become steeped in the war. No matter how I look at it, that's what they want.
Good. Then let them think we're preparing for war. And then we go in the back door. I can have us in the Baishik Mountains before noon.
I agree. Marshalling will take their eyes off of us. You could send a smaller unit, try and recover her.
Play into our hand and then stab her in the back of the palm.
If we were going to save her, I think that is probably the only option that does not doom us if we fail.
I'll need some time in Thrain. Appoint the right people, gathering troops, looking like we're preparing for war.
We need to get some kind of communication to the rest of the nations.
I think that's going to be done for us.
I know, but we need to know if they're still going to stand with us or if they are just going to do whatever the fuck they're going to do amongst themselves.
Yeah, make it known. Tell them what Karnath's intent is, what Thrain's intent is. The daughters of Sorakela just came and killed your leaders. You're gonna sit on your hands and let monsters just wipe out your people? Gonna let them encroach to the rest of the Bree or trump through the forest of the Eldin reaches, or are you going to do something about it?
I think RTM's right. They can't show weakness here. They have to show strength in some form or fashion. And with two of the nation's leaders forcing their hand, they will.
Otto and I will try to find any arcane evidence to support this so we have a stronger backing that the other nations can't question your intentions.
We're giving the world the bad guys they want anyways.
Maybe we can use some of that money from House Kundar, hire some mercenaries from the east, and maybe House Deneath wants to unsully its reputation for having half the world's leaders get killed on their watch.
Perhaps. But at the end of the day, Droam isn't the end goal.
The way I see it, if we start mustering against Droam, then we have the forces to fight Zoriat when they show up.
As long as it only gets to mustering. If you have armies from all of the nations invading Droam when Zoriat shows up.
Well, that's the idea.
Our only chance of success is to contain them. If they are able to flood onto Corvair, I doubt we'll be able to put them back in the bottle.
The idea is for them to muster and for us to look like the nations are going to go to full-on war with Droam. It feels like the obvious idea or the play that they want to spur the nations against them. I don't know. Maybe they have other plans seeded in different nations to make this all fall apart and the entire thing look like a ruse on your part. But what is it? We have to get ahead of it before that happens. Let's fabricate evidence if we have to. I don't care. As long as we can get troops mustered and look like we're about to go knock on the front door of Droam, we can get in the back door and do what we need to do.
If Thrain and Karnath start mustering forces, the other nations won't have a choice but to. If not, if anything, but in response to us.
They won't want to risk being caught with their pants down.
Exactly. So the forces will be ready, positioning. Well,
we have to be done before they have a chance to put them in the wrong place.
Then you better start writing the speech, and I better start getting some sleep.
What?
You're a king. You're gonna have to tell the rest of the nations what happened. The daughters of Sorakel did. You're going to write them a letter. Your face needs to be on every view screen and crystal in this whole continent for this to happen. People have to see that the warrior king of Karnath lost an arm and isn't going to take it like a bitch. Does anyone else disagree with me? I mean,
I think he's right. Thrain does things differently, but Karnath will want to see you. They'll want to see someone at the very least. Put whoever you want in front of them. As long as they're going to show strength, put a general in front of them, and I don't think it matters. Show them military might is going to happen. Muster your forces.
Karnath won't let a smack to the face go unanswered.
They want a face. They want someone to follow, not words on a page.
Sure. Yeah, okay. All right.
I'm not saying you yourself have to write the speech. I'm sure Crowley and Yuri can help.
Yeah, rolls his eye. Oh, fucking Yuri. Yeah. Okay.
I ain't much on writing, mister, but this nifty little helmet that I got now might look pretty scary. What do you think? Pip just flips his like direwolf helmet down.
It's very intimidating.
Pretty sure I saw it on some of them flags back there.
Yep, you sure did.
Okay. Yes. Let's do that. Fuck.
Okay. You guys break out from here. Otto and Crowley going to the going to be led from some of the Deneath soldiers. Is anybody else going over there to like do anything arcane or see the magics or anything? Or where's everybody else going?
I'll go with them.
Okay.
Is this entire island considered like a city, or is there any kind of like actual more nature-esque places that I might be able to commune with nature to see if there are any feelers for like they did this from like on the other side of the, river or something like that, or something along those lines?
Okay. Yeah, I'll say there's a garden you can go to that's just like a bit separated from the rest of the buildings and stuff that you can go to do that. Yeah, for sure.
All right.
So our team's gonna go do that. What about everybody else? Azur, Gandalf.
Fuck. I'm gonna think. I'm probably gonna stick around here, like probably not go off like all on his lonesome like into the night, but get some at least a little bit of space and think about what the fuck to say to people.
Gotcha.
Pip was put on bodyguard duty, so she'll stay on bodyguard duty. So, I mean, she's not going to be right up in his grill. Obviously, he wants space, so she's going to give it, but she's got good dark vision and stuff, so she'll be there.
Okay. So you're hanging out with the Gandalf at the moment. Azur, anything that you want to do?
Not particularly. I think he's gonna soberly think about things. Oh yeah.
Brooding is a free action.
So he's probably gonna brood a bit and then send a message off with the sending stone to his mother. Nothing special, no response needed, just checking in.
Yeah, what do you say to your mom?
Well, found the Baroness. She's a delight. I'm doing well. Zoriat is coming, and I'm scared shitless. Love. So,
you get a very sleepy message back. It's an elderly orcish woman's voice comes back over the the sending stone rather. And she goes, "Oh dear." Those are the first words, and there's like a long pause afterwards. And you hear she says, "I don't want you to hold any grudges. She did what she thought was best. And it's okay to be scared. We are too. But we're stronger together. I love you." You sort of off to the side, Mazarth nuzzles his head around you. Sort of, he's larger now, but wraps his neck around you as you're sort of sitting there and just sort of breathes out a little bit of what color is he right now?
he would be red.
He's running. You
Just
see
fire.
fire lightly toasting the grass of Thronehold. Just a little light toasting. Crowley and Otto head off towards the northern side of the island, led by a couple of Deneath guards. You see that it seems like Sir Valian has put up some like observation runes, almost to like preserve this section, like the rest of the abjurative magics that he's done around here, which is contains like the entire circle of the island around Thronehold, which would have put up like basically a dome shield above it. but all of that has faded, or he has dispelled it. You see there is some like preservations or observation runes around this particular section though, where you see the runes continue from one side and the other, where they should meet in the middle and they do not, and instead you see sort of lavender arcing energy twisting and moving runes around. If I can, please, you guys tell me what exactly you're doing here, if you're using any sort of resources or just investigating with your Arcana skill. Either way.
Otto's monocular / gem of seeing for those newer has been finely tuned to Zoriat magic and aberrations.
Mm-hmm.
So first and foremost, he's going to plot that thing down before conducting his investigation.
Okay. You sort of turn it on. I will say, as you do, and you've sort of casting out this detect aberration, essentially, Crowley immediately beside you. You see almost just like this odd gray energy crawling over him. Not surprising to you, considering this is the source of where you got this magic, but it's happening right here.
Still creepy.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Just probably a long look at his uncle, then moving on.
Yeah, let me get a couple of Arcana checks from you guys.
I'm going to assist.
Okay, you can give him the help action. Yeah. Little help action.
Good thing you did.
And inspiration, because I can.
Use an inspiration. I will say, just so we're on the up and up here, what was your first roll? Because you guys are technically exhausted at the moment, so it's going to be a straight roll. I want you guys to remember this has been a long ass day. Y'all have been
right. Yeah.
Y'all have been in the roar holds, fucking sweating away. What?
Actually, it was a leisurely trek for me. I remind you, DM.
The total
Still a long
time you
time.
guys have been up. Yeah, you guys have been up for a very long time at this point, and it is approaching like 6:37 a.m. So, what was that roll?
In order, I rolled. In order on the D20 was a 13 and a 19, so it would be the 13, not the 19.
Okay, and with the inspiration.
And with the inspiration was a 10, and then my bonus is, I think, 15.
So bad, man. What a
many
terrible total.
Well, that's just one more than me. Come on, man.
I have a lot of tabs open right now. I'm so sorry I lost my character sheet. 17 right now. Where the fuck am I getting?
We hit
We're out
level
of
17, remember?
Oh,
Proficiency bonus is +6.
that's right. I forgot.
You're welcome.
Okay, so 23. A 40? I think that's a 40.
Plus 16? 23 plus 16?
23 plus 17 plus 10. Or no, 23 plus 17. Yeah.
So 40.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
And that's the worst roll.
That was the worst roll. It could have been
It would
6
have been
points higher.
46.
Could have been a 46.
The DC was 42, so no. You two are
Actually, just in case.
Hmm?
Flash of Genius.
Fuck you. You know what? All right. I'm tired.
You know what,
So
guys?
it would have been. So it would have been a 51.
Jesus Christ. Your mind as well as Crowley's goes to work on this, detecting aberrational magics, and it's interesting because there is something there, like an aberrant school of magic. Although it doesn't completely seem like it is of Zoriat. It is partially of that realm. It's almost like you're looking at Crowley, and it's how Crowley is a combination of the material realm as well as something something far more sinister. This particularly has a lot going on. Aberrant magics are here, but I think particularly familiar, and you decide on how Otto wants to react to this. The same lavender magics that arc here arced on an automaton back in the plane of law, specifically to cause it pain, that Otto was told his father was responsible for.
All right, Cody needs just a moment on that one. That ain't even just Otto.
While he's thinking about that, I have a quick question.
Yeah, absolutely.
We said the Daughter of Sorrowtail had a type of magic that was people were more familiar with.
Mm-hmm.
And being an agent as I am, would I have come across such aspects? Do I feel any kind of quantity or quantification of that kind of magic here?
So you know what? Give me a quick history check. Give me another history check real quick.
Uh, 16 plus 5, 21.
21. Okay. And ask your question one more time.
Being as well-traveled as I am during the war,
yeah,
I was just wondering if I would recognize any hints of the hag's magic, because it's one of the more common and familiar types of magic in the area. I just want to see if there's any quantification of that in the area.
Yeah, I'm going to say with Otto's Arcana check, you two talking, and with that history check, you would be specifically familiar with the sort of magics of Sora Maina, the bruiser, the Anishag of the group, the general of Droam's armies. And she is probably, from what Crowley can gather here, the least magical of all three of them, and would not be capable of something like this. This would be out of her realm. The magics that you think you like heard stories about of her on the battlefield, like she would take out swaths of men at one time, with like she was physical might, and she had spells that helped her with that. But this is certainly out of her realm. The others you're not entirely sure of. They are, one, much more secretive and don't have a lot to do with the world, with the exception of Sora Kadra, who has just been found out to be having something to do with the world that you guys did.
So, sorry.
Hold up. Go ahead, Carly.
I was going to say, well, if we can at least identify it for a fact that her magic's here, then that's already more than enough. But
well, she was definitely seen, but you don't think that this particular rune breaking had anything to do with her. So it seems like something else let them or her in.
Something to quantify her magic. And as we're talking, I'll just, figure out what Otto thinks on the matter too.
So, DM, the question I have for you is, as these pieces are getting put together and the nature of the magic is getting identified, is that a sudden or a dawning realization for Otto that those magics are one and the same?
I don't think it takes
extremely similar.
Yeah, I don't think it takes long at all for you to connect those dots. I mean, that was a very recent venture into the plane of law. You have eidetic memory. You're looking and you're like, I've seen this before, and I was told that my father was doing this. It is these same exact types of magics.
And is that magical residue strictly from the calling down the stars kind of thing, or is this other stuff?
No, that was completely separate from what you two can gather right here. This was the gateway to let that in. This would have acted as a barrier against it.
So this is the... Wait, so the magical residue, the lavender magic, was the barrier that was broken, or the lavender magic was what broke through the barrier?
The residue of the lavender magic was broke the abjurative magics that the member of the 12 put around here.
Gotcha. So...
allowing whatever else to come through, and whatever else happened to be meteors.
probably just an audible to himself. This is not speaking to anyone, but head just swimming with confusion and not having the logical at-hand answers that he is accustomed to having. And when it comes to arcane scenarios, just a, Father, what is going on? What are you doing? And probably a little bit more distracted as he is torn between the more immediate magical research and then part of his mind dwelling on what this connection could possibly be. He'll be trying to put together to some degree what was done and how it was done.
You guys stand there and ponder that for a moment. I'm gonna cut back to Gandwin really quickly. What are you doing, bud? And our team's going after her.
Very suspicious.
They're investigating right now. That's gonna take a little while.
I'm sorry. Did you say you meant RTM not getting one?
No, I want to know what you're going to, and then we'll go to our team.
Much like I said, he is kind of pacing around
Mm-hmm.
and thinking hard. Like, this is super outside of his wheelhouse, but it's a figurehead is what Karnath needed, and that's kind of what he's got to do. So, got to do got to think of the most Karnath thing to say to Karnathi people and to people that aren't.
Okay. If I can, please, Ganwin, get you to roll me a stealth check real quick. Just a straight roll.
Sure. $29. And then the next question is, what's your AC again?
No.
It's a tingle. You can feel it coming.
What was it? What was your total?
29.
Okay.
Yeah, when you feel the hair stand up on the back of your neck, that's that's the real life version of your body hearing, "What's your AC again?"
Yeah.
No. Okay. So you're around there thinking about that. Artyom going out to a garden.
I actually wanted to change what
Okay.
I was gonna do. I would like to go speak to Mr. Kundark.
Okay. He's currently, like I said, he was being taken care of by some Deneth soldiers. It seems like some other folks may be on the way to come take care of him.
Yeah, I'll go right up to him. Like, you all right?
You've been better, but alive, thanks to you.
We're happy to help. That's what we're here for. I'm glad to see that you made it out all right. We don't need more people in charge getting hurt. It's a terrible tragedy tonight, or last night, or yesterday. It was a really long time.
I have no idea how long I've been trapped down there, so it's fine.
It's the morning of the next day.
Okay. I'll believe you, Frog God.
I'm not a frog god, I'm just a Kalashtar that likes to... You know what? He's gonna pop out Alexander's hat. Like, I feel like this is a pretty appropriate time to have a drink or seven. It's probably not as good as the stuff that you're used to, but is offer him one of the things.
You can just reach into the Oshanka and pull out a bottle of vodka.
Yeah.
You go through a couple of times, keep pulling out empty bottles, but eventually a full bottle comes out. He says, heard of that brand. All right. Grabs the bottle and just downs it.
It's like a Dasani. Oh man, that hits the spot.
Exactly. I was feeling a bit parched. That should help.
Yeah, Archie will have a few hefty drinks off of a second bottle that he'll eventually find in there, and just kind of say, "So, how do you feel about this whole thing? Hags from another country coming in trying to sow chaos when we're being invaded from another plane entirely."
He sort of just stares off into space for a solid minute, thinking about. How am I supposed to make heads or tails of any of this? I didn't even know it was another country until you just said something.
Have you ever heard of Jeroam?
I've heard of Droam. I didn't know it was them until you just told me.
The author is a Sora Kill or a lead Jeroam.
Right, I'm aware. I've heard the names
Yeah.
at least.
Base who did this. Did you have other people here with you?
I mean, you can look across.
Yeah.
There are plenty of dwarven-sized like sheets on the ground still.
I'll go through with them and ask them their names, and we'll have drinks for all of them.
Okay.
I'm just trying to build a relationship up with a guy's got a shit ton of money.
I am going to go ahead and let you know this guy is currently hailing you as a frog god for the rest of the night. He knows you're not a frog god, but that's what he's going to continue calling you through all these drinks. I love dice sometimes. Out of the number of folks that he brought with him, there were a lot of them. Artyom, I would like you to please roll me a Constitution saving throw at disadvantage for me, please.
Is that a straight roll because of my tattoo?
You are resistant to poison. Yeah, straight roll. Go for it.
Well, that straight roll is a 14.
14.
That's
Okay.
pretty good.
Yeah, I'm gonna roll one for him as well.
Also at advantage because dwarf.
A natural 19. I am telling him at disadvantage because of how many folks he has brought with them. Several bottles of vodka later.
I will extend the use of a second level spell for lesser restoration at some point. I'll speak I'll need at least one of those.
A natural 19 on his Constitution saving throw. He seems to be all right, but trying to keep up with a dwarf with drinking seems to be like a bad idea, as it always is.
Yeah.
But he's going through. He's naming the dwarves that he came with. He's just, all right, it's probably enough. I need to be able to at least make a sentence when people get here.
All right. Yeah, that was a lot. I'm not going to lie. House Kundark is a very powerful house, and we're going to need your help.
Right. The aligned basic.
Yeah, like basic. Everything. We're fighting for survival, not politics.
Oh, fuck it. Right? I mean, he starts crying. Like he full on just starts crying. He's just, I lost my friends today. I'm going to lose all the gold later. He's just fully pissed drunk at this point, rambling. But we don't want to get tentacled, and he's screaming very loudly at this point. But I don't want to get tentacled, and I don't. All right. Yeah.
I'm not saying we're going to take all of your gold. You're going to be a hero. You're going to help save everyone from tentacles.
Okay. I like not being tentacled. That's a good day. It's a good day not to get tentacled. Listen. All right.
Yeah.
We've kept the aligned bishiks because they're deep underground. Where dwarves stay. We've been holding off something like that for a long time. We've held on to these weapons over thousands of years to try and fight back if it ever came back. And we expect it will. But we may have hoarded a little bit more than we needed.
I'm gonna kiss him on the forehead, like a happy kiss on the forehead. That's wonderful news. I hope you hoarded as much as you possibly could. You hoarded all the bishik for us, and we can help save everyone.
He starts crying again.
This is good.
He says, I hoarded so much bishik. I have so much of it.
Yeah, that's fucking awesome. Yeah, that is wonderful news. See, you know, sometimes things like this happen for a reason, right? This is going to save potentially millions of lives.
Yeah, it's good, I guess.
It's very good.
Here to help. Are you about to say something? Go ahead.
No, go ahead. You're good.
He just looks at you, his eyes just red and puffy at this point, and his face is just fire engine red from all the vodka you guys have been drinking all night. The sun is fully rising at this point. And all right, well, we can make that happen. We'll get supply lines running. We'll keep what we need to make sure tentacles stay underground in the holds, but we can run supply lines out to other places that aren't the holds.
You're saving so many people today.
I'm a hero.
You are a hero.
I'm a hero standing with the frog god.
You're a dwarf god. You're a great guy. You're going to save so many. I save your life, you save millions of lives.
Give me a persuasion check at advantage.
Oh shit. Couldn't find my other d20. That is a 6 and a 19, so total of 22.
22. I am a dwarven god! He screams out.
I exclaim loudly with him. No words, just yeah!
I just having the blanket, he just sort of leans into you.
I'll hug him close.
Right. Very well.
If any of the shiny vanguard happen to be in earshot, I will just telepathically imagine there's got a shitload of black sheik. I imagine I can still slur mentally.
Absolutely. So our team is drunk now.
Yeah, very.
At this point, the sun is rising. People are Denise soldiers still moving around here, exhausted. Some shifts are coming in from other ships of Denise soldiers unloading and like switching out people that are exhausted and injured at this point, because even Denise soldiers and medics were injured while in there with you guys. So as they swap out, they're also informing diplomats and emissaries from other countries. You'll also see being held back and away from this place members of House Civis attempting to like use data crystals to capture what's going on here and communicate what's happening out here. Is there anything else anybody here wants to do on the island? And where are you going from here?
So firstly, I was in another campaign or something. No, Pip doesn't have dark vision. Doesn't matter because it's daytime anyway. So I'm assuming we're in a room. Are we in a room? In a room?
No.
We're outside. We're outside pace.
Yeah. Space
So I'm just like
to walk. Yeah.
I'm just following you around, like, or are you pacing in a clearing? Like, what's that look like?
Probably in somewhere relatively nice, like away from where the Denise soldiers are doing their thing.
You found like a place,
Yeah.
like a clearing, and okay,
Something
so
like that, yeah.
okay, so Pip's probably just like kicked up against a tree, like, practicing flipping one of her daggers or something like that. And at some point, as he's pacing, she's just going up and go, "Aye, being a king's aged you."
I do not look old anymore, for the record. That was dispelled.
You don't. Oh, it was
We did
dispelled.
get that fixed.
Gandalf did while you guys are back. Those of you who were on the mission with him in Faron then will notice that the lines and grays have been reduced, but I do think the king life still has been a bit stressful on Gandalf.
100%.
It's still been a little bit stressful.
She just kind of stops walking and just... Okay.
What do you want to do? What do you want?
What?
What do you want? You're so stressed. You're pacing around like, I don't know. Like, what do you want to happen? Gandalf?
What I want to happen. What I want to happen is for everybody to not fucking die. What I want to happen is for Droim to fuck off into the horizon so that there's one less problem for us to deal with. What I want to happen just none of this. But here we are.
But here we are.
So what's going to happen is I'm going to do my best to tell a bunch of people to go die.
I don't know that I'd phrase it just that way.
That's what it is.
You're a soldier. Have you ever done it before?
Told people to go die? Sure.
Aye.
Never quite from this view.
What's different?
I'm not being told to do it.
Are you not?
I don't have anybody in charge of me. I'm the king!
And their egos.
This is my decision.
It's always been your decision, lad. Every time it was your decision, and somewhere, somehow, you decided that that was best. So decide what's best. And do what you do.
This is.
And
what's
do it
best.
well. Then do it well.
Doesn't mean I like it.
No, you never did ya? You didn't strike me as the type.
People will be dead all the same, Pip.
It's true. And people were dead before all the same. But tying yourself in knots about it. Making yourself think that you have choices that you don't have, or that you don't have choices that you do, is not going to help. It won't help anyone. Do what you're good at, Gandalf. Lead people in the way that you're good.
This is so far outside of what I am good at.
Don't let the fancy clothes and the golden cups and all that nonsense twist it around. The talking and the convincing, maybe. But the rest, knowing what's right and knowing what's dangerous and doing the hard thing. I don't know you well, lad, but that's the impression that I got. That's what you're good at, and it's definitely what your friends think you're good at. So do it. Just do it. Don't torment yourself. You help no one.
I suppose.
And don't be a fucking martyr. Get your damn arm back, lad. Jesus Christ.
Lucas looks at you and says, "Who?"
I would sneak away at some point. Because I know Pip's
Okay.
following me around. I would intend to lose her at some point. Just kind of like, I want to step away.
Sure. Give me a stealth check. Pip, give me a perception check. Actually, what's your passive perception? No, you're looking after Ganowin intentionally. Give me a perception check.
I said because my passive is 18.
Okay.
You know, because I really want to roll with the big number. I'd use pass without a trace to help step away.
Okay.
You're an asshole. 26.
This Pip's just like, hey, what you doing there? What the fuck?
26 and
38.
38. Okay.
Oh, you're a real asshole.
What
Pip's
is-
been sitting there monologuing to herself for who knows how long. Like inspirational speech just into the fucking void.
Like,
Yeah. I imagine it's like Pip says, "Look, do what you're good at, and the sun's rising. You turn around to show him that the sun is rising and it's a new day, and you turn around and he's fucking gone, and you're just sort of left there in this moment."
Be like, mother.
What is Ganowin going to do?
He's gonna go find a section of the ruins where they are not, like, there's nobody where, like, visually, like, there's people that aren't gonna be walking past and going.
Yeah.
And he's thinking about, you know, what Pip said and just speech that he's got to get and just all the events of the past few weeks and beyond that of, like, you know, fucking even like all the way back to fucking Melgrim dying in the holds and just the miserable conditions that, like, of everything that happened in Scairn and through to there, Milo disappearing in that fight. You know, fucking the Pietro, the, like, only living person that, like, knows anything about his parents, fucking died, and I'd never even really had a chance to process or handle that into the politics, into basically okaying the recreation of the Warforged, having to marry some chick that I'm pretty sure that while her family wants that for their own personal power, it's going to make her life just infinitely worse because of the decisions we're making, the organization of the Accords, the disaster that was, just capping it off with some chick that I knocked up that has just got unlucky enough to have my kid got spirited away by these 3 fucking monstrosity horror stories that are used to scare little kids. I'm gonna find that isolated little corner. I'm gonna cast silence. I'm just gonna sit in that bubble for the 10 minutes and just cry and just scream into the void until it hurts. Just let it all out.
Screams of rage, tears, silence. The king has found, I don't want to call it a breaking point, but it's something akin to it. Maybe the opposite of it. We'll see afterwards. The rest of you, is there anything else that wants to be done on the island of Thronehold before you leave this place? And where are you going afterwards? Speak up now or forever hold your peace.
I guess I would eventually like to do that nature check, though maybe at some disadvantages at this point from... Let me... Hold on real quick. Nope, that's a 2. Artyom ends up passing out before that happens.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
It is what it is. Sleep in the mud, like months ago.
I got you. All right. And what were you saying, Otto?
What was there any further information to be garnered from Otto's continued investigation?
You continue to investigate this area. It looks like these magics, and again, you're looking and sort of piecing it together. You're seeing a master of abjurative magics at work. You were looking at the intricacies of the spell that he put around Thronehold, and what it would take to rip them apart like they were would have taken something truly mighty and truly otherworldly to do so. And it looks like it was just picked at the seams and it just unraveled. But that's all it took to cause the entire protection to go down and allow the meteor swarm to happen. So, but other than that, other than the lavender energy standing there and you knowing that you are with a over 40, you are certain it is not like the same magics. It is the same magics that you were told your father cast on Automaton.
Gotcha. And I guess just in that investigative vein, and I think I already know the answer, or at least know that it would probably be difficult to tell, but I got to ask anyway. Being very intimately familiar with Milo's brand of magic, at least at that juncture in Milo's actual arcane career, does he feel anything of his father's magic in that? Because he was not able to get close to that automaton. He, despite wanting to, it was barriered off.
You're right.
This, he's right there on hand. Is he able to detect any of that? And now that he actually can get his grubby little investigative arcane paws on it, as it were.
Give me an insight check.
This is not my greatest skill in this game. I do have a bonus. Be a 14. Significantly lower than the 45.
With a 14, you're looking through it and looking at it rather. You're running through your memory banks at spells like being cast, because this would be from a first person's perspective from your father. All the spells and tinkering, when I say spells, your father was mainly, even though he combined the arcane and the mechanical, everything that he had. Oh, go ahead.
To clarify, he is very specifically not thinking of Milo's like tinkering. He, that's what I said, his very short actual arcane career of since the pact was made. So he's trying to home in on Milo's actual magic.
Right. And as you're going through those memory banks, and when your father made whatever deal that he made, because you remember the conversations with Kaushik that you've had, or that Milo had, but you don't remember anything else. Those are beyond Otto's reach. Like,
Those weren't physical conversations. Those were like spiritual or something.
or they're just missing. They're like memory banks that are gone. It's like skips in time for you.
Interesting.
You fell asleep in the swamp, or Milo, your father fell asleep in the swamp, and he woke up in some other place and knew he needed to get to his friends. But you're going through, and with a 14 insight, it's unmistakably the same. Identical.
Oof. Is Crowley still there?
Yes.
Having squeezed the last bit of information juice out of this particular lime, Otto is probably going to just sit there for a minute processing all of that at the emotional level, not the intellectual level.
Mm-hmm.
And then as he heads off, mostly wordlessly, is going to just, without even looking at Crowley, because Crowley's been a conversing part of this investigation this whole time, as represented by the help action, correct?
Absolutely.
So probably, even if not 100% on the same page as Otto, at least definitely in that fucking direction. The one thing I can say for certain as I share those memories is that he loved you dearly, and he would not willfully do anything to hurt any of you. And then he is going to head off to find Sam.
Gotcha.
And with just a probably archaic to Crowley, it is time for the spear.
Shock mask face.
The mask goes, ooh. You find Samuel, saying they're all ready to go. Samuel has been essentially giving the help action to all of the Deneath medics as best he can. So you'll find him with Kaushik here, and Gandalin, once it's, I'm not gonna say a feeling like that, like probably never feels quite complete, like you'll never quite get it out of your system, but you know there's a time when you just have to leave this place, and you know that steps need to be made in a direction. You stand up and you look over and you see your friend Artyom floating in a pool of mud of his own making, just sort of in the middle of in the middle of this place.
Is Slick there?
Slick is sitting there on the edge of the mud puddle, and looks over at you as you sort of stand up leaving this place, and looks back at him. He ain't drowning, mister. He looks kind of peaceful. I didn't figure I'd wake him up yet, but I guess it's about time.
Yeah, it is about time. We got to go.
Make a deception check for me.
Sure.
It's a natural 20.
Oh, it's against a 13.
Okay. Slick says, mister, if you won't, a hug's always nice.
I don't know if Gavin knows how to react to that.
He sort of flips his head back, and you see the direwolf helm just sort of collapses onto his back. He said, hug never hurt nothing.
You don't have arms to like.
Just check him out. He like literally sits back up on his hindquarters and holds his up. Says, "Mister," and puts his front legs back down. He says, "It's okay if you don't want one. That's fine. I don't mind at all. I just figured I'd offer one because you look like you need one. If not, that's all right. If and when you do want one, I'm around and happy to oblige."
Okay. I'm a kick Artyom.
Fuck!
Morning, mister.
Did you kick me?
No, sir. That's him.
Yeah, it was me.
Ow!
What the fuck are you doing?
Resting my eyes a little bit.
You are floating in vomit.
That was there already.
Does that even require? Uh-huh. It's time to go.
All right. Just so you know, I talked with Mr. Kondark, and he said that they are hoarding massive amounts of basic, and he's going to give us everything that they have, except for a few weapons to hold off in their pits.
Yeah, when you heard this drunken conversation happen very loudly and over in a corner, you heard all of this. You remember every word.
Good job, Artyom.
Yeah, you're welcome. We got to save the world. Oh, I'm good.
Okay.
I'll just pet Slick. All right. Well, should be good.
Not taking us back to where we went or where we came from?
Is that where we want to go? You got any other ideas where we need to go next? We need to talk to some little fellas, the Largo folks, newspaper man.
Yeah, Civis.
Yeah, that's the one.
I don't think are they from Zolargo? I don't know.
I thought that's where gnomes came from, was the Largo.
Shrug. I don't know.
I'm just gonna say this is a world power right now,
Yeah.
having this conversation.
Oh,
Anyways.
The king of a nation and one of like the arguably most powerful spellcasters currently alive.
Where are you guys heading to from here? You guys can group back up together. Where are you going from Thronehold?
They probably Korth, unless anybody else has a better thought.
Yeah, I mean, you'll probably be safer there and have more aides, and there's Yuri there to help write a speech and all kinds of other stuff.
I don't think Yuri's there. I don't think Yuri is in Korth anymore.
Oh, I have no idea where Yuri might be. That's the last place Artyom saw.
Man. I think he's probably back in Atur.
Okay.
Back to Korth.
If there's nothing else that wants to be done here on Thronehold, Slick will lead you guys back. As you're all sort of regrouping back up together near the docks where Slick's going to take you. Go ahead.
I was going to say, put the cowl back on.
Cowl back on. Gotcha. So Gainwin's face obscured once more by darkness. As you guys are leaving out, and these House Beneath soldiers are sort of changing shifts, as it were. Pip, a muscle-bound Beneath soldier, walks up to you, and he takes off his helmet. It's a tall, muscle-bound kind of guy, short military haircut, and he goes, You told me to come find you before I left. Well, here I am. Hello.
God. And people just like pat him on the cheek and go, "Oh, sorry, it's too late, me lad. We're on our way out, but better luck next time."
Okay.
And she'll just fall back in line with the group. Just like,
G-
straight face.
Goodbye, woman of my dreams. I'll see you later. Hopefully. Oh no, she has left me crumbled and destroyed. He pulls out a book out of his back pocket, and on the front, and it's in crayon is written poetry, and he just starts writing in it. As you guys leave, and Slick leads you back off to Korth.
As Pip gets back in line, she looks at Artyom and Artyom, or not Artyom, but Azure. She's like, "Not a fucking word."
And that's where we're going to go on break. So thank you guys for joining us. Thank you guys for playing with me. Don't go anywhere. We're going to be right back. We're just going to take a quick bio. You should do the same. Take care of yourself. And we'll be back into this shortly. Much love. Be right back.
Bye.
And hello, everybody. We're back. For Hard Knock Dice, we're going to be continuing this across Eberron campaign. If you missed the first half,
Campaign.
our heroes were heroing, as a matter of fact. They were out there saving people from a collapsed building, and saved what little bit of folks that were there. They did save them. A deal, I would say a deal was struck, but the leader of House Kundarik, the Baron Kundarik himself, thanked a frog god for rescuing him from his stony grave, and has agreed, at least drunkenly so, to release the hordes of Baishik back into the world, and getting some supply lines going back out. Our heroes also investigated some arcane happenings of arcane shattering of an abjuration spell, in which Otto and Crowley learned that it was, or seems to be, Otto's father, Milo, Otto's doing that allowed this meteor swarm to even happen in the first place. So yeah, we're in the midst of several mental breakdowns, and then a couple of other things, but everything's fine here. We're doing hero things. We're doing hero things. Ultimately, a good thing was done today, which is what is in mind as you all return back to Korth, exhausted, hurt, out of a lot of resources. For those of you that spent them attempting to rescue, knowing that you have a conversation to have with a member of the 12, Cervelian Tetraitzi. The rest of you will need some rest. You get back to Crownholm, the home of our King Gandalin, Earwine Nar. And unless there's anything else you would like to do before you're off to sleep away the morning, you'll be waking back up about midday, a little bit later. But if not, that's where we're going to pick right back up. Very well. Off to sleep, get rid of that point of exhaustion. Back up and awake. It's probably a little bit after noon at this point. The day is well underway. The city of Korth is very busy. Lots of buzz in the castle. Of course there is, after an issue like this, Gandalin, you are swarmed with servants, people changing out bandages and everything else. But what are you doing for the morning as you gather up, as they sort of make this ridiculous breakfast for you all? In a dining hall for the king, not sort of the main like banquet hall or anything, but just like a private dining hall for the royalty here. Shining Vanguard allowed in, as well as all of its extended members, including Slick, should he be allowed. But what are the rest of you doing, or what are all of you doing?
Is Yuri still in the castle?
Yuri is not. Yuri is not within the castle anywhere.
All right. Then I would like to get with Crowley or whoever else kind of spy person that's in the local area, and let's start pulling any and all information we have, calling experts up that know stuff about Droam.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like if we have to go be like, oh yeah, well, this guy, Frank Reed spent 30 years over there, and like the crocodile hunter, but Droam version. Get him over here. We can ask him all kinds of questions.
She got. That's an honest hag.
I maintain, you're not paying attention to the D20s, but rather the D100 here. That is a 96.
Hell yeah.
I
Holy
maintain
shit.
that these dice are, after rolling a natural 1 on seeing if there was any metal in that meteorite, that my dice are always just completely volatile. They do not know anything in the middle. Okay, well, here's the thing. That is gathered for you. Send someone off. You guys are sitting here having breakfast together, and Sergio, your personal like hired bodyguard here, big muscle bound dude, completely bald, Mr. Clean looking motherfucker with like big silver earrings and is just all black, like black t-shirt, black pants. He used to bounce.
Bouncer?
Yeah, he's a bouncer at a bar from underground Carnath, super shady place. So basically the only guy that you trust amongst the like Crown Home folks. Says, wait on it, steps out and goes and I'm sure he threatens the Meisters of Crown Home for information, and comes back with a lot of different information for you.
Hell yeah.
Fuck. Give me a second.
We don't have to dive through that right this second.
Oh, we're going
we
to.
need it
No,
right
motherfucker,
now.
you asked the
Right
question,
now.
you're gonna get it, okay?
Oh, Pip wants to hear him tell the information. She wants to-
Exposit.
Exposit.
In character.
Okay.
Exposit in character.
Sergio can probably not read. You know what? Actually, I'm gonna leave it up to the dice.
The dice about to give him a 4 on his reading
On
ability.
a 19, a percentage, Sergio doesn't know a lot of the words that are in these texts. However, you guys go through them. We're not gonna worry about all of that. I'm not gonna rob 96 off the thing. I just gotta scroll down a little bit. Okay, you guys are trying to get as much information on, I assume, the sisters and other information. I keep saying the sisters, but the daughters of Sorkel, of Droam, all that you can, correct?
Political hierarchy as well. If we know anyone that might be more ambitious than they are cautious, if we can go in there and also sow some destabilization of our own, why not give them a taste of their own medicine?
Gotcha. All right.
About the nieces of Sorkel.
No information on the nieces. Those are top secret, classified. You don't know about those
Any
yet.
nephews?
That's probably like a fucking band. It's deep in the slums of fucking Sharn. The fucking nieces of Sorkel.
I mean, that's canon now.
What do we know about them? Are they any good?
They're a dope like underground pop punk band, all female
they're
pop
pop punk. Oh,
yeah,
shit.
like punk band.
It's
Anyways,
the second and fourth
It's
Thursday.
like a
of every
grunge
month.
version of a K-pop group. Like, what the fuck is this shit?
okay, back to the serious stuff.
Sorry.
Now
No,
I'm
you're
just
okay.
imagine a collie, but they're actually Oni. It's not like the face paint.
So the daughters themselves, like I told Crowley, the most is known about Sora Maina. And there are sketches of her. This is an Annis hag. For those of you that don't know what that is, they are physically imposing hags. They have a lot of muscle. This particular one, they have like battlefield sketches. These are events that happened either at the borders or beyond the borders of Droam, where she was present. In these battlefield sketches, or even data crystals of her. But also, Gandoin has seen her in person. An Annis hag of towering proportions. She has tough-looking, scarred, mottled blue-gray skin with sort of stringy patches of black hair, leaving her mostly bald. She has pale, dead gray eyes and teeth that have been filed into sharp needle-like fangs. She is overly muscled, even for a large creature, which she is size category large, with the except for she borders on the huge side of that scale. Her back and shoulders have muscles upon muscles that stack and tower over her head, making her appear to have a hunched back. She wears the bones of her enemies as trophies as all over her, and you wouldn't be surprised that the tattered robe that she's been seen in is also made of their hide. She carries with her a truly ridiculous sized club, although a more apt description would be an oak tree that's been minimally carved into the shape of a club with black wrought iron spikes throughout it. You know that she loves bloodshed and fighting, and would probably, and like out of the war notes and stuff like that, would probably be fairly easily goaded into a fight. But she's not a fool and she's not stupid, although she's probably the least intelligent of the three sisters. She is, as far as like her abilities as you're going through her, just her presence has been known to cause even the most battle ready of soldiers to turn in fear or to become stricken with fear to where they didn't even move, and she crushed them. And she is also an apt commander, so able to command her troops around of ogres, trolls, orcs, and the like. They listen to her and they are motivated by her mostly because of fear. You guys would know that. So that's what you guys know surface level of Sora Maina. Like I said, the most is known about her. I will also say that the spies that were sent into Droam during the war and even afterward were pretty much considered martyrs. Once they went in, they were not coming back out. There was no way. And that is because of Sora Terraza, which is said to be an oracle, and nearly nothing is known about her. She is the most mysterious of the three. She is known to be some type of seer, albeit nobody really knows what. There's rumors about her that she's been alive since she's been around as long as the universe has, and knows everything that has happened since, but who really knows? But spies that were sent in Droam were nearly immediately extinguished. So there's like data crystals here that were sent back upon their wearers when they were deceased, like a contingency spell, and you see pictures of Droam and stuff. So Sora Maina, about a location as to where she may be, she is found in a, give me a second. In the Great Crag, beneath the Great Crag specifically, in a city where during the war she captured and enslaved a bunch of like Breelish soldiers and architects and the type. So there is this mockery of a Breelish town built beneath the Great Crag, which she likes to lord over, and it's filled with all sorts of trolls and everything else, but it's sort of beneath the Great Crag. Above that is where Sora Katra is thought to reside. Sora Katra is the one that most of you met in battle not too long ago. Very little known about her. What she truly looks like is a mystery. However, she typically wears the appearance of a beautiful woman, porcelain skin, which all of you, well, I think Gandalin has actually only seen. Maybe a couple of you have, I'm not sure. I can't remember. Gandalin definitely saw it though, as one, it was the form that she took after the meteor swarm happened, and two, she took off a skin suit and walked up to you, and this is the form she wore. But she has like typically comes in a form that is like porcelain skin, long jet black hair, and typically like dark red or dark black lipstick of some sort, and she is beautiful, wearing typically very revealing types of clothing, very beautiful dresses of the type. And other than her ambition, little is known about her. And like I said, Sora Terraza, I'm sorry this is so jumbled. Sora Terraza, next to nothing is known about her other than the fact that people say that she's a seer and that she knows She knows everything that has happened and will happen. And you said their political structure. Droam's political structure is based on warlords that have been appointed by the daughters of Sorkel themselves, all across the nation of Droam. You saw one of them fall when you were there, when the Ash Lord fell. When you were there in, forgive me as I think back through, Vralkek. And
Yeah.
that is not uncommon for someone who has made a deal with the daughters, it would seem. If someone attempts to do that and does not have the daughters like explicit permission, that person either doesn't make it to their goal or dies shortly afterwards.
Gotcha.
And so while it may seem like a lawless place, the daughters rule it with an iron fist, and they seem to know everything that happens.
Gotcha. All right. And so I take it there really isn't much dissent really at all in their territory.
If you did so, what RTM probably gathers from this, if you attempted to do so, you would have to find something that scares them more than the daughters. If it is just fear, that you think that's your best bet is to find someone who is simply just scared of the daughters of Sorkel, so they listen. But there does seem to be a fierce loyalty amongst the majority of the Droam citizens, just because before they were considered a nation of monsters and nobody would have anything to do with them, with the exception of look, I'm gonna eat my words. One of the houses that typically deals with Droam, but I'll get that to you before. I think it was Denise specifically, or Thrashk.
Yeah, the finding, I believe.
I believe it's Thrashk.
Bounty hunting house.
Yeah.
Which
Was
is
it half orcs and
Thrashk.
humans?
Yeah, humans and half orcs.
Is the standard, yeah.
And the dealings that they have with them is that they have with Droam is they would hire Droam citizens to be part of their mercenary groups. So there you go.
Interesting.
Okay.
Man, I'm just saying, just imagine if I'd succeeded on that deception check way back when we were leaving Vralkek. And they thought Quanti Dorian had been responsible for that shit. Think how different things would be. It'd be crazy.
Maybe.
Fuck.
Maybe.
Butterfly effect. They would be on our side, actually.
Who knows? So you are given this information. Going to take you at least an hour or two to sort of pour over this, but this is what's given to you. Yeah. So what are you guys doing past this point?
At some point since we've been back, I'd have asked about somebody make me an arm.
You want a fleshy one or a mechy one?
If I've got to be making a point of the fact that I lost it, then it's got to be clear that it is not the one I started my life with.
Make it have like Wolverine claws or something.
That'd be crazy.
Put both them +4 daggers. Built
In one
into-
arm?
Yeah, 2 attacks.
Would something as simple as just a very obvious prosthetic be something he could throw together fairly quickly?
I mean, we will put it down to the dice, but yeah, sure.
I'm sure it'd be very easy to get people to assist that are knowledgeable in that realm.
Yeah, did want to, if it was okay with you, DM, on the way off of the island, he would have sent a message to Sam just saying soon. And at this juncture, he would be speaking to Gandalf, I guess, taking measurements and preparing to throw together a very, very hasty and not aesthetic but functional prosthesis. And taking the measurements of Uncle Gandalf. What do you intend to do next? Not as the King of Karnath, which I believe you have made clear, but as a member of the Shining Vanguard.
What do you mean?
Just, making measurements while he's talking and slipping in occasional questions about metal type and allergies and such. And
What the fuck's an allergy?
never mind that question, I guess. You have said what you will be doing, insofar as the instructions you will give to your people. What do you intend to you yourself do? Stay and lead, or shall you march with the vanguard? Let me be clear before you answer. I do not mean this as any kind of judgment. It is honest curiosity.
I'll make sure to leave clear instructions, but I do my best to help make sure people want to do it.
You have been... I'm sorry, go ahead.
Jayla only came to the Accords because I asked her to. Because I wanted the weight of her foretellings behind what I had to say. I owe her and Lucas that much. And quite frankly, I think once this is set in motion, it doesn't much matter whether I'm here to keep it going.
You have been a soldier, following orders, and you have been a member of the Vanguard, fighting independently. What was it like to lead?
Shit, Otto. It fucking sucks.
But for the good of your people, right?
I like to think so. I hope so. When you're in charge, can't really complain about the decisions being made. You're the one making them.
I see.
Anything that happens, it's on you.
I shall try to keep that in mind.
Got to get done sometimes, though. So, no sense dwelling on it.
He is being actually quiet. That is not just me sitting and waiting. And unless you say anything to him, he's probably quiet for most of the rest of the preparatory measures.
And Genwin leaves it for now.
You two, well, I say you two work together. You do just kind of lay there, Gandalf, with Otto doing the most of the work. I'll say them like the master smith of this place, of Crownholm, comes in, speaking with you, Otto, getting measurements, seeing what he can do to help and what sort of metals we want worked into this. So essentially you have the resources of the crown at your, if we're talking about magical items, that will be that would have to be looked at, but as far as a fully functional prosthetic arm, within the afternoon you could have it put together and it will look damn nice because of Otto's construction and because of the materials available to him.
Good shit. Would you like me to make that roll, DM?
Yeah, you can
Or
go
are you
ahead
just
and
gonna
make a tinkerer's check at advantage, please.
advantage? Hell yeah.
Big dice. Big money. Rolls a nat 1. Has 3 fingers. Only one of them works.
Jesus.
Warforged arm.
Double ones can happen, and we'll have to talk
Double
about
ones
what that means.
have happened.
Man, that's
Double ones
Christopher.
have happened.
3 triple ones have happened.
It's true.
That will be a 24.
24.
Fuck it, we'll make it a 29.
Bro, this man just slinging out fucking
Resources gone.
like they're not anything. Like, what do we need these for?
So we can talk about what that looks like when you're ready to. Anybody else here in Korth? I will say later during the evening, you guys do have the Stormbringer come here to Korth. An incredibly tired looking Nilbo. Like, I'm talking deep bags under his eyes. He is having trouble walking at this point. He is incredibly tired. Nilbo has pushed himself past several levels of exhaustion to make this happen. So he is sleeping. He does not greet you. He does not do anything. He falls asleep instantly. But Erish, Mop, and Glop are all here, as well as Thimble on the front of the ship. But the Stormbringer is here and in Korth with you.
No.
So Shining Vanguard, what are you guys doing?
I guess we need to figure out how we're going to address the rest of the world.
You guys have a couple of folks writing speeches for Ganduin at the moment. If that's what you would like to do, Crowley can absolutely assist them if that's what you want to as well.
Then I shall.
You can tell me what that says when and if you're ready to. And if King Ganduin is going to be the figurehead for that speech and the one making it. Are you announcing today that you're having a speech from Crownhold?
Fuck, I suppose so. I mean, I feel it has now been it's been over 24 hours since the attack, so Civis has had.
It's getting close for sure.
Time to start, like, this information is starting to get out that this happened. So yeah, we have to say that we're going to say something.
Gotcha. Okay, so you start crafting up speeches. You put out a word. Couriers and crown aides go out and about within the city announcing. You have heralds screaming out that King Ganduin is making speech today, later today, and the city of Korth is becoming very much alive. Even hours and hours before a speech is going to begin, the courtyard of Crownholm, the front courtyard of Crownholm, is filling with Karnathi citizens to hear what you have to say. But there's hours until that point. If there's, what else are you guys doing?
Azur is doing some reading.
You're reading on your book?
Any hours of that as I can.
Very well. You got about 4 hours that you can sink into it before the time of King Ganduin's speech, because you want to give it before evening.
After the arm was nearing completion, it would have been a follow-up to Otto speaking to Ganduin.
Okay.
Not a separate conversation, but focus more on
continuation
the
of.
arm for a while.
Yeah, so you probably are interrupted fairly often while you're sitting in here and like tinkering away on this prosthetic as crown aides and couriers and all sort come to talk to Gandalf and speak to him. You got Sergio off in a corner making sure no funny business happens. But folks are coming in talking to Gandalf and he's sending them away with the information about the speech happening later this evening.
Yeah, Otto's been basically just ignoring them, not insofar as like rudely ignoring them, but kind of combination lost in thought and absorbed in his work. And in a slower moment as they're approaching the completion of the arm. It seems, Uncle, that this shall be finished rather quickly. But you shall have to look after it rather well. I do not believe I will be around for much longer in order to provide repairs. He is not making eye contact with you at all.
And why is that?
Do you have a rather long moment to spare for a short story?
I think I can make some time, yeah.
He's probably going to get a very halting and unsteady account from Otto's perspective about their encounter with the Lord of Blades, and the focus of the story being on probably not what the other members of the Vanguard would have given him the rundown on, but this would have been on the Warforged and their perspectives, and basically a very, very short summarization of some of those themes that he had expressed to Sam in their conversation.
Question. Details that are included. Do you include the Lord Blades like active hostility towards like flesh and blood people?
Probably, yeah. He would, and that would have been probably brought up as the segue into Otto's focus being unity and providing a less isolationist, more healing-oriented community for the Warforged.
Again, throughout that, the whole story, again, I would say is probably very, very like intentionally blank, just schooled in just being like just stone faced, trying to be as unreactive as possible. And you intend to execute on this now?
Time is short, as has been proven rather intensely in recent days. I am not sure that if we do not do this now, that we will have another opportunity. I believe it is time, not just for the Warforged to have a sense of community, but perhaps for us to march again, but this time not in the stead of the flesh and blood mortals of this world, but alongside them.
Is that not what the deal you struck with him was for? You're muted.
I believe the spirit of the thing is different. This, I hope, will be something that will last. And also, I believe will call to many of those out in the world, scattered through the nations. I think that the spirit of the Shining Vanguard will suit well.
So you will just go back into the Mournlands.
I believe my next stop shall be Sharn. Or first to visit a friend and get his input. There is much yet to figure out, as this is a large project. But I believe the next major destination will be Sharn. Those in the Mournlands have chosen their path. If they want to deviate, our arms will be open. My search will be elsewhere.
Is it? Well, how are you gonna get there?
What'd you say? Oh, sorry, I couldn't hear you.
How are you gonna get there?
I am a creative individual. I'm sure I will find a way.
Like you said, time is short.
Indeed.
Has to go forth with a plan of some kind.
Sorry, I got a random notification. Very distracting. I will not be going alone.
It is good.
Otherwise, I would simply fly at a high rate of speed, overtaking most land transport methods.
Okay. Interesting. Well, although I am far from any role to give you orders. And I don't doubt that anything you do is going to be helpful.
Did not hear that last sentence. I'm so sorry.
I just said that, and I don't doubt that anything you do will be ultimately be helpful.
Glad you clarified that. I thought you said I don't think anything you'll do will be helpful, and I was like, God damn.
Just fucking roasted. Fuck you, metal man.
You probably barely finished that sentence and are just immediately grabbed into like
Ow.
a desperate bear hug, just like off the ground. Injuries forgotten for the moment. He has, not you have, surely.
I had an entire building dropped on me yesterday. Please be gentle.
I apologize. I had forgotten in my haste and emotional reaction. Sets you down.
Looks at stump of arm. Like, I mean, I can only hope that you succeed.
I am
With
frightened.
speed, preferably.
I am frightened, and not for the ways that I thought I would be. I am prepared to be the spear, but I have never lived away from my family before.
You've been alive for like less than 2 months.
And it has all been with my family. This shall be another first.
I think there's going to be a lot of that soon, moving forward. Anything like this has happened before, it hasn't happened for a long time.
Indeed. I must speak with the others. I feel that if I delay too much longer, I shall lose my nerve, and seek alternate solutions or courses of action.
We're gonna pan away from this scene. you two working away on a prosthetic for Gandalin. Speech is being crafted, a book is being read currently.
It's done.
Carly said, done. You get a couple of hours before it. RTM and Pip, what are you two doing right now?
I'm probably going to go up to the airship and idly hang out with Erish and also try to read a little bit more of that book.
Okay. Pip, what are you doing?
She has probably had as much fanciness as she can take for a while. So she's gonna just kind of like go try to find like the seedier side of town, place that feels a little bit more comfortable and familiar, and wander around, maybe look for a drink or a card game or somebody to replace Kermit the Frog. Like, I don't know. Kermit dude.
Listen, Gunter was ready to give his whole heart to you, and you just ripped it out and threw it on the ground, okay?
Go. She had a job. She was going with
I will
people.
provide
Um,
a safe home.
you are both heading out of the castle, sort of in the same direction at the moment. Lucas stops both of you and says, listen, I don't know where everybody else is right now, but before we take off towards Droam, I need to stop by Thrain for an amount of time. It won't be long. I will make it quick. Someone else can make this announcement on my behalf to gather Thrain's sources, but I need to stop by. So take
I
me
thought
by.
that you were already gone. Hey, let's go.
No, I was sleeping. I was also very, very tired.
Okay. Yeah, let's go.
Well, I assume there's no. Okay, I mean, all right, yeah, let's do it.
Do I remember any fat trees near Thrain?
Well, you will remember that the island, which is an island. There are a lot of islands here on this river specifically. Give me 1 second as I pull up the map.
Let's take a look here. We were really close to Flamekeep. We were close to Flamekeep when we were still on Thronehold. It was right there.
Yeah, you guys were very close.
We could have just catapulted him on home.
Flamekeep is surrounded by water on all sides, albeit not necessarily a true island or like a big island like Thronehold is. But it is a short. You know what? I'm just gonna leave it to the dice the way I always do.
Woo!
Yeah. Let's go.
Yeah, you remember a quick tree over to Flamekeep that you could go to. Like, it probably in somewhere that there's going to be some very quick guard responses, but you have First Knight of the Flame, Lucas Porter, with you. What the fuck are they going to do?
All right. Do you want to come to Thrain, Pip?
Sure. What's in Thrain? I've not been there before. Might as well. I'll come.
It's the seat of... Yeah, we're going to Flamekeep, the seat of the entire country, where their leader was just kidnapped by 3 monsters of legend. It's a country ruled by a religious force that is probably going to be pretty pissed.
All right, let's go.
Let's go kick the hornet's nest. Okay.
It shouldn't take long. You disappear with Lucas.
Slick as well, of course.
Slick goes along with you. Let's see. Okay. Slick as well. He's there with you. He has now been to Flamekeep. You can, if you want to get a running list of places. Oh, Jesus! I didn't mean to like spit into my mic. If you want to get a list of places where Slick has been, that would be very helpful for me. So we don't have to roll for it in the future. So you can mark like Flamekeep, Thronehold, Korth, and last stop.
Alex's house.
Alex's house. Yes. Alexander's house. Absolutely.
You gotta make that distinction. Alexander's house, not Alex's house.
Y'all show up here, I'm gonna be confused. Anyways,
That would be fucking wild. Like, how did you get actors that look like our characters?
You guys take off towards Flame Keep, into probably what is Flame Keep's, like, where the flame is. There is like a garden, and you are immediately set upon by, like, I don't know, 50 knights all around you. Lucas waves them off. You see him. I doubt you have much business here. If you do, give me a little bit of time. And as you're sort of talking, he just says, tell me where you're going to be and I'll come and find you.
How long do you think it'll take?
Hopefully no more than an hour, 2 tops.
Okay. Here, you just, I will take the time to summon up Barrick. Like, here, you keep this fella with you, and you just let him know whenever you're ready, and I'll come and find you here.
What does Barrick look like right now?
He's a bat, right?
He's a bat? I'm asking you.
He was a bat the last time right? Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's a bat.
Okay. He, like, looks on his person for somewhere to store a bat that's just not him carrying one around. Sticks it, like, underneath his cloak, clinging onto the armor. Okay.
Just don't sit down and forget about it.
Right.
Okay.
He walks off. You guys, like I said, no more than an hour, Lucas announces the situation to certain leaders. Thrain is in the process of being mobilized, and Lucas finds you once more, says it's all done and ready to go.
I'm going to see what while we're in town, I want to see if there's any remains of the moon investigation.
Of the moon investigation?
Right.
So back to Ragnar Jersley's house?
Yeah. I assumed it's been months. I doubt that they're like, oh yeah, this is in the middle of the city. We'll just let this real estate sit there and nothing happened to it.
Yeah, I think RTM gets there, and seeing it has since been reestablished as a residence. It looks like a family is living there now. You approach them. There's like swings and stuff in back where the you will see that the like stables are still out back. Surprisingly, a low number of horses in those stables for whatever reason. But you see like a family out there back, like pushing kids in a swing, just like hanging out.
Okay. Yep. I'll
leave it be.
Leave that be.
Okay. Yeah, but I mean, you think that probably the inside has been redone since Lucas finds you once again. Finding you, RTM, Lucas has a piece of paper in his hands, sort of rolled up and wax sealed, hands it over to you and says, a copy. Hang on to this. If anything happens, then you can do with it. I have several people that have copies, but I trust you, so.
What is this a copy of?
Last living will and testament, in case something happens.
All right. I'll stick it in the hat.
You stick it in the hat.
Yeah.
If you write that down on your inventory. You guys take back off towards Korth, which no spell needed. Slick can take you right back there. Anytime you cross small bodies of water like rivers, you always get back with wet socks. It's the downside of doing that, but you get what you get.
I'll take my shoes off first.
So that part of it's done. Thrain is in the process of being mobilized. Cervelian will find you at some point. I know this is kind of sporadic, but it is the nature of things happening in a panicked sort of way. Cervelian will find not those two because they're out. He'll find the king. He'll find Gandalwin. So you've had your prosthetic outfitted and is good to go. You are probably preparing for your speech. I assume Crowley's probably in the room helping you rehearse with it and telling you what to accent on and such.
I'm telling him, don't memorize it. Use it as a guideline. Speak from here. That's what's most important.
Speak from my lungs.
All right, memorize the speech. It's going to be in front of you anyway, but it's important you hold contact. Also, I recommend no prosthetic while giving the speech.
I literally just got it.
Then you won't mind it not being on. Let them see what that has been done to you. You didn't come
It's
out
a
of
fucking
scratch.
metal arm.
Just do it. It'll be grand. Trust me. It'll be great. Just, it'll mean more to the people when you tell them.
May I interrupt into something?
No.
He appears not from a door, but just in the room.
Ah, jeez. Hi. This is not the anti-magic room. Shit. Whoops.
No, you're in the speech room. It echoes a little bit more.
The anti-magic messes with the acoustics.
Exactly.
Okay.
It's real dampening on your voice and such.
Yeah. Cervelian.
That is my name, yes. Good to see you.
What can I do for you?
Well, it was a matter of Zoriat was on the mind, yes?
Kind of hard to forget. Yep.
Wonderful. Well, considering I did not hear from you, I'm here to give you a little bit more insight on how we are preparing and what is happening with Zoriat. And so I don't have to speak through all of this stuff.
Right.
Cervelian tells you that the 12 has been recruiting the best minds of magic for quite some time now and training them. He will describe things that are happening in the Tower of the 12 that could clearly not happen in any tower, which you can imagine that a bunch of the most powerful wizards of this world have just demi-planes amongst demi-planes in this area.
Every closet.
Right, exactly. Essentially, you can imagine just millions of rooms going to demi-planes as well as just other planes of existence. Collaborative efforts to train. He tells you he goes through the extent about how it's a multi-pronged approach to this, how it is they are attempting, as you've said, actually to contain. He's talking about doing the same thing but magically. If they are able to contain it to a certain area, they will. I think the ultimate thing that Gawain probably and Crowley extracts from that is that whoever is containing that is gone. It is done. And also it is just a pocket of madness on the material realm. So probably not the best thing. What they don't know is the gatekeepers, the Gashkala, their seals and how they've redone it are lost to time. He will tell you they have no way on how to revamp those or repower those. There's no way that he's aware of currently, or any of the 12 for that matter. So it seems like that matter, the magics of the Gashkala protecting the world are coming to an end. He'll also say, when he's talking about ancient times in the Gashkala, he'll start talking about the Dakani Empire and the last time that this happened in the Dalkir War, when the Dakani Empire defeated Zoriat and pushed them out. He says that that with Zoriat on the material plane, they'll be able to stay, but not forever. That's how the Dakani Empire was able to defeat them. The longer they stayed on the material plane, the weaker that they got. And he says, think of the way humans on, or think of yourself or humans on the plane of Maybar, how you would just deteriorate. He said, and how you would just succumb to the energies of Maybar. The same would happen to creatures of madness. They would slowly succumb to the physics, laws, and logic of our world, and that they wouldn't be able to occupy here without weakening themselves, unless they could somehow anchor chaos to the plane here. And he says,
terraform us.
Well, have, according to.
Oh.
He says, insert the Mournland. Now there exists a permanent anchor point of chaos in the middle of Corvair, not to mention any other anchor points that could have been created in a less explosive manner.
So as long as the Mournlands exist, we can't wait them out.
I'm not sure exactly. All I know is the chaotic magics of the Mournland can not merely be a coincidence. We believe that it is and can be used as an anchor of chaos here on the material plane. There could be hundreds, thousands of others across the material plane anchoring to keep them strong here. I don't know if just the Mournlands would be enough to sustain them. Whoa. Oh. Uh-oh. We're doing
Oh, goodness.
What the hell?
I don't know. Skype did a magic shuffle on us. We're still all in the same frame, so we're good.
Yeah,
we're back into it.
Hey!
We're fine.
We're good.
Cool.
To make sure we didn't do a body swap.
Difficulty.
The magic of the Mournlands, and everybody body swaps. So anyways.
Oh, no.
Uh-oh.
We never left.
But it seems too much of a coincidence, yes.
Okay.
It seems that something is orchestrating the return of Azoriat for a permanent amount of time.
And we don't know what.
No.
And if they need those anchors, then we need to get rid of them.
This is a simple way of saying it, yes. How do we do that? Unfortunately, I'm as ignorant as you when it comes to this.
That's pretty fucking bad, yeah.
Yes.
Huh. And we have no way to close these tears, these rifts, whatever, that were previously sealed by the Gushka Law.
Research that is being done on our part. We look back through ancient scrolls every day. We talk to the Gushka Law, those that may know.
Nothing.
To no avail as of yet. And I am a man who doesn't put all of our eggs in one basket, yes.
So out of curiosity, was your intent just to offload this information on me, or did you have some kind of plan you wish to propose?
You asked the question about the Zoriat. I give it the answers. You ask her what the 12 is doing.
Fair
It
enough.
would be more effective if I show you, but we prepare. Day after day.
So our options boil down to figure out how to redo the seals. somehow figure out how to get rid of these anchors. Or fight them and fight them and fight them until they decide to give up.
Am I sure there are a million more options? Those of which that end in our success. Probably a much shorter list.
Right. Okay. Okay.
I have seen you. I know you. When I have more information, you will hear it.
These mages you all have been training. How great are their numbers?
A question I did not think of, and now I am thinking of it.
Also, did he specify what kind of magic they were being trained in? Or like, are they training battle mages specifically, or are they like?
From the conversation, you're gathering that they are training multiple different types of mages, like abjurative, battle mages. Like they are approaching this from
As many angles as possible.
Yeah, because ultimately it's still an unknown. There's still a lot not known. I think you'll probably get an answer because this is spanning multiple planes where they've recruited these mages. Shit.
You're welcome. I'm happy to cause problems.
No, I don't think it's a problem. I'm just trying to think of a good answer here.
Just hella. Nice.
A couple.
This is
At least 12. One for each of us.
there is at least a 12 us. However, we lose some and we gain some sometimes, so the number does fluctuate, but hundreds.
Well, apparently we're about to get a lot of Baishik from Kundarik.
No need, we already have.
Oh, well, never mind. I was about to say, if y'all need focuses, whatever. But
We are
Okay.
settled.
well, that's good.
We, unlike the rest of the world, do not have our heads up our asses, yes.
A unfortunately rare character trait. Okay.
I could say the same about your, I do not recognize the king and queens, but the rest of you like you.
What?
No, nothing, don't worry about it. However, I am a very busy man.
Yes, of course. Thank you for.
He's gone.
Okay. These guys are kind of fucking assholes. Just announcing to the room.
You hear it just echoing around you. I heard that.
Good.
Anyway, not your lungs, you daft bastard. You need to speak from the heart. You need to let them know what you're feeling.
And it's that time.
Oh.
Crowley would very much like Gary Oldman in the King's Speech, like to be off to the side and kind of just help, coordinate with Ganon while he's speaking. Just slow down, speed up.
Yeah.
Inspiration.
Got you.
Stack.
Azure, you're done with your 4 hours of reading. Artyom and Pip, you return with Lucas at this point. Otto, what were you about to say?
I was just going to ask, between the end of the it's not surgery because we weren't affecting his body, the construction of the arm, and the start of the speech, what was that time frame?
350.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm not going to say much time. Ganowin probably had, in the world of politics, Ganowin probably had 45 minutes to go over the speech at best. So Gandalfin's
Awesome.
like, or Crowley's like drill instructoring this speech with Gandalfin, and then this guy pops up, ruins probably 15 minutes of the training, and now it's time to do the speech. So
Gotcha.
yeah, like 45 minutes or so is the time you would have after the creation of the army if you'd like to do something during that time.
To avoid repeating the same conversation in a full RP fashion, Otto would have taken that time to basically go and explain his intent to each of the members of the Vanguard, and to basically not a goodbye, since we can travel super fast and communicate long distances, but
Yeah, no, I mean we can have the I'm not gonna no let's so Azure and Pip show back up with Lucas once more, showing back up with Azure probably on the it did it again. What in the world, Skype is having some troubles today.
Another one.
DDoSing everywhere.
Yeah, Skype is having some issues today.
Who's
Sorry
doing
guys.
it? It's Kylie.
We all here?
We're
Kylie,
getting
isn't it?
DDoSed. So anyways, I don't know what's going on. Can everybody hear me okay?
Yeah.
Okay, because Skype's telling me you can't. Anyways, everybody's still in the right place. Aboard the Shining Van, or aboard the Stormbringer rather, you would find Pip, as well as RTM and Azure, knowing not to go too far because Gainwin's speech is happening soon. Erish is up there as well with RTM, as well as Mop and Glop. So set the scene for us.
You muted.
Yep, I realized that like right as I started speaking.
Making
I was
sure.
like, having had the conversation with Gandalfin, and the act of basically saying it out loud to Gandalfin kind of helping set his kind of set him kind of fully on that course. Kind of that was the first step, and now it's a little bit easier. Probably would have attempted to speak to each of them privately, just because that would be easier for him.
Yeah.
But for most, just a explanation that please be well. If you need me, call. This is the best way I think I can help for not just for the Warforged, but for this effort. The extensive conversation. So if any of you would have anything additional to expound upon, let me know. His more extensive conversation that he would be instigating would have been with Archie. So for who he would save for last. So to Crowley, Pip, Azure, if any of y'all had anything to follow up on that, when he does come to you, you would all get very intense robotic hugs. Yes, no, maybe so. Once, twice, 3 times.
Oh.
Gone? Okay.
Pip would just wish him luck,
Excellent.
So yeah.
But it would be clear to anyone that he is kind of pushing himself through this quickly and with as little friction as possible to stop himself from stopping himself from doing this.
I'm gonna say Samuel probably. Actually, you know what? Okay, never mind. Ignore me.
Okay. But when it came time to speak to Artyom, he would have probably tried to speak to him like on the deck near the gardens that Artyom had planted, and just kind of call him over. Uncle Artyom, could I speak with you for just a moment?
Sure. Probably just up there reading a little bit out of that book.
Sure, mark down 30 minutes.
Yeah, that was only like 30 minutes.
Just kind of
There's
Oh, okay. So chapter 1. Gotcha.
he has read the the list of chapters. All
I
right.
got a
good.
table of contents down.
Harris kisses your cheek and says, I'll leave you two alone, and steps away.
Do you remember our conversation immediately outside of the Mournlands regarding the Iron Vanguard?
Yeah.
I believe it is time, or at the very least, that we are out of time for anything else.
Right now?
Shortly. I will probably depart before the day is up. I have already spoken to Gandalin and the others.
We're about to launch a covert mission using the armies of the entire continent as a decoy to attack 3 of the most powerful spellcasters ever known on the material plane. And you want to leave now?
I believe that from now until trying to think of like what would be a world appropriate term,
Apocalypse.
Invasion.
Yeah.
X-Day.
From now until the climax of this conflict, it will simply be one major event after another. You will have this mission, and then another, and then the next. I am afraid that we will not have a better opportunity, or a good one. This is not a good one, but I do not believe that there will be better.
So what exactly is your mission with the Iron Vanguard in the immediate next few days?
Contact friends, make friends, lay the foundations,
Okay.
figure out exactly what our movement is going to be, and then begin to recruit. Something
All right.
collapsing in the room behind y'all or something.
Well, yeah, I mean, do it fast. Good luck. You're going to convince them to do what needs to be done. I know you're only a few weeks old, but you get more wisdom than most, at least in my opinion.
I appreciate that, Uncle. I have spoken some to Uncle Gandalin about leadership, especially for one unaccustomed to it. What guidance would you have, Uncle?
What guidance for leadership would I have? Know that whatever you're doing is bigger than yourself and the people around you. But never let that get in the way of doing the right thing.
Just standing there, staring at you, but also kind of like past you, almost like frozen, sort of. I am worried
You should be.
about both of our missions. It is ultimately the same mission, but it is easier when I was able to face them with y'all.
But you'll have to find other capable people that you can rely on, and they will come to rely on you.
Capable people.
Da.
My people.
Most Warforged that I've come across are very capable.
In more ways than some people would give them credit for. But here shortly, we shall prove our capability in the way that we are known for most. And that is when you will get your bone-crushing lifted off the ground hug.
What if? Yeah, I'll hug him back whenever I get set back down. I'll just. Warforge is a nasty name. You Your people are designed to go onto the front lines and fight and attack and kill and all of these things. But I know if you go there and convince the Warforged to fight with you, that it can't be any of those things. They will not be Warforged anymore, because you will not take them to war. You will take them to the defense of the people of this world. They're not going to war as much as they're going to be the Iron Vanguard.
It may be a war, but we shall be fighting in no different a way than everybody else involved. I wonder what we shall end up calling ourselves.
You'll be
Definitely. Oh, sorry.
You'll be saviors, not warriors.
We all will be, yourself included. Thank you again, Uncle. And if you truly do need me, I believe you are more than capable of contact.
I will.
You'll probably give him a second hug.
Yeah.
And say his goodbyes to Erish and go to collect Sam. He will stay for the speech.
Okay. In that case, Otto heads up top. The rest of the Shining Vanguard places themselves where they would like to be for the speech to come. And a speech was written, so a speech we shall hear.
All I'm saying is you guys better go have some like super hype stuff about, and we're gonna go throw him, and we're gonna get that little girl back.
Before you step out onto the balcony, Lucas pops up and says, "Do you want me out there with you?" As a show of unity with Rain. I don't know how my people will feel about it, and honestly, Flame, forgive my language, but I don't give a fuck at this point.
No, it's pretty fair. I mean, that's what we need now. People need to know that this is everybody's business. This is everybody's fight. Old hostilities and feelings have to get set aside.
Flares his blue cloak out. Make sure he carries sword and board with him. So make sure those are
What a Chad.
It looks like
To be
First
fair,
Line of Flame.
I feel like that will go a long way as a visual if you have a dude just sporting the brightest of Thrain like vibes with a weapon right next to the king. It doesn't get more trustworthy.
Well, my assumption here is that our King Ganowin is also not dressed simply
Armed,
in royal regalia, but what do we see our king wearing as he steps out onto the balcony above a crowd of people?
Well, I've been convinced to not to go armless for now.
You're gonna have like a dramatic part in the speech where like, and we're gonna fight, and then you like knuckle up with some giant fucking meaty mega
Will you just fucking
head
wait?
crusher.
Gosh, man.
Jeez.
Hidden under
Crowley's
cloak
got-
and then
Crowley's got the form of an unassuming, like, short guy in the back, just, standing near and watching.
Okay,
Yeah,
Inspiration.
inspiration.
Gandalf's wearing his fancy +2 leather armor that he got recently, and wearing both of the short swords. Like he is armed and armored for battle. He's wearing the crown of the Wrathbringer at this time, but has probably refused any attempts at doing kind of like how Caius always got done up, like super over the top, like very very much meant to be a finagled every detail to be a fancy looking warrior king. Like, so small guy probably doesn't look terribly impressive, but that's how it is. Go up on and out there, and he's going to take a moment to just
look over everything, make sure that that's weird feeling. Make sure that Lucas is able to get up and is very clearly visible. Now standing next to him.
Tears continue.
And I would like to make sure that make a point of like he's not standing like at his shoulder, like, you know, where he stood like a step behind, that he has stood like in like console, like stood next to.
Gotcha.
So very, very clearly not like, hey, this guy's here backing me up. This is a we are here, like standing here. And he'll start talking. My name is Gandalin Irwinarn. I am the King of Karnath. I have never been a man to give speeches. But here is the fact. I'm sure all of you have heard at least whisperings of what went on in Thronehold. And you do deserve to know what happened exactly. Still kind of glancing down at, I'm sure, like copy of the speech that Crowley wrote up.
It's like on your sweaty palms.
I don't got palms. I got one palm.
Crawls in
Palm.
the back like,
Palm.
calm down.
Singular.
Cool.
And he starts to talk again. He's Borver has been attacked. This has been assault and attack on all of us. The Accords were meant to bring all of us together in the face of an oncoming threat. To set aside old feuds, old ambitions, so that we might all live to feud and hate and fight again later, perhaps. Many people died in that attack. The building crashed down on us. He'll kind of gesture. It is only through luck and through the efforts of our friends and allies, as he'll kind of make sure to look at Lucas, that I survived it all with only the loss of an arm. Many were saved that may otherwise have perished, but still many more died. And those responsible are the daughters of Sorakel.
Crowd inhale. Murmuring. Speaking back and forth.
What their exact ambitions for themselves or for Droiam as a whole are, we do not know. But due to this attack and its timing, with what this meeting concerned, we feel it is only reasonable to assume that they are in bed with Zoriat, or the forces that command them. That being the plane of madness that will soon encroach our plane. Aside from the fallen, the keeper of the Silver Flame was taken by the daughters. And that is an insult atop the death and tragedy that cannot be allowed to stand.
but we do not intend to. Garnath will muster his forces. If Droyam chooses to set themselves against the people of Corvair and against the material plane as a whole, then we will stand against them. As has Thrain announced as well. I have not spoken to any of the other nations. They have not communicated. Understandable given the chaos surrounding this. We hope that they will join us to swiftly crush this enemy. If not, or if they are consumed by indecision, then Karnath and Thrain will fight them alone. And we will emerge victorious regardless. I have no intention of sending any of Karnath's people to die. But some will. But I also have no intention of sitting and watching from on high while you do so. I will fight. The Shining Vanguard, or my companions, close confidants, will fight. And we will not stop until they are dead and gone. And that's it.
I know you hate him, but I'm gonna need one.
No, don't do it.
Persuasion check
Guys,
at advantage with your D12.
Guidance as well, though.
Guided.
Guidance as well.
guided, bro. I'm over here orchestrating.
Regardless of what the reactions of the crowd are, that is when Otto would have turned and left from his among the crowd perspective.
A bogus.
Gotcha.
Right. Metal dice, don't fail me now. Alright. Okay. All right.
He has like 7 dice that he rolls like, all right, 9.
Yeah, he somehow managed to get a 5 now. That 32.
30.
Hell
Two.
yeah.
19 on the D20, a 9 on the
Fuck
D12, and a 3 on the D4.
32.
And the crowd goes wild.
Before we get to the reaction of that, Gainwin, go ahead and give yourself the proficiency in the persuasion skill, please.
Hell yeah.
All right.
Now, our camera, after we see Otto, he knows the speech went well. He walks away and gets lost in the crowd. Samuel by his side. Our camera, once again, the last words of the king. The crowd, slow to react, but our camera pans nations away to another knight of the Silver Flame, Paladin, giving a speech to rooms full of to hundreds of knights of the Silver Flame, all clad in their silver armor. Nations away to Iron Dare, to where the 2 remaining of the Triumvirate sit there and give a speech to Iron Darens and soldiers abound, to Breland, where a newly appointed queen, King Voronel's daughter, gives a speech to all of Breland with a 32 on that. The crowd's reaction is written in the roll in the sense that they will go wild. You also get the support here of folks almost immediately going to sign up to go to find the place where they sign up to fight. Everywhere. They will seek out recruiting offices for the White Lions, for Karnath's armies, everywhere. And you know what? I think with that, that's where we're going to end tonight's session.
Oh, hell.
Why are you trying to kill me in real life? Why?
Thank you guys for joining us. Thank you guys for playing with me. I had a blast. I hope you did as well. We are Hard Knock Dice. We stream every Wednesday and Saturday. On Wednesdays, we do our Whispers in the Dust campaign, which is our Fantasy West campaign, DM'd by our wonderful King Gandwin/Ian. So come check us out Wednesdays at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Cowboy God, Yahweh, as they say. And that's Wednesday nights at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then on Saturdays, we do this across Eberron, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So drop a follow if you haven't yet, and get notified when we go live and all that good stuff. We're so glad to have you along for this. If you're feeling it in your heart of hearts, drop us a sub. That helps us get all sorts of cool D&D content and stuff like that, and helps us improve the stream and whatnot. So thank you guys so much again. Of course, please donate to Extra Life. We're raising money with them for the Children's Healthcare of Atlanta. Go click on that link, and go be a hero IRL, open your heart wallets, and do the lawful kind thing. Just another quick announcement for this campaign, the Across Eberron campaign. We are going to be live on the 9th and the 16th, but we're going to be taking a 2-week break on the 23rd and the 30th. We'll be back at the start of the new year. So mark it down in your calendars and all that good stuff. We are going to... did I miss anything? Anything else?
I don't think so.
I think that's everything. We're going to rate our friends over at Dice Legends. They do all sorts of cool D&D stuff. So go say hey to them, drop them a follow as well. Support the TTRPG community who do all this wonderful stuff. And yeah, until next time, guys, much love. Bye.
Bye.